Red Sox got a 3-run homer from Ceddanne Rafaela in the first inning and then scored 5 more in the second on their way to a 10-3 win in Detroit over the Tigers last night. Wilson Contreras and Wilyer Abreu added back-to-back homers off of Tiger starter Framber Valdez to start the third. Brian Bayo took over from there. He allowed one run over 7 relief innings for the win. The Sox are expected to activate Sonny Gray and start him tonight in the third and final game of the series. A jury in Dedham District Court found former Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs not guilty of a felony strangulation charge. This is after an alleged incident with his personal chef in December. The Celtics' Jaylen Brown was fined $50,000 by the NBA for his online comments about the referees the day after the Green were eliminated from the playoffs. At the NBA playoffs last night, Oklahoma City beat the Lakers in Game 1 of their second-round series 108-90. Detroit took Game 1 from Cleveland 111-101. And at the Stanley Cup playoffs, it was Colorado over Minnesota 5-2 to take a 2-0 series lead. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rapid Flow Sewer and Drain Cleaning. Are you an experienced drain cleaning or pipe rehab tech? Rapid Flow is hiring and part of Local 12 to give you great retirement and healthcare benefits. Call 800-286-FLOW or visit rapidflowinc.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Trade break May.
We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5.
Tinkerman, heard about you.
Yeah.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides,
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop, bomb, bomb.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop,
Whoa.
bomb, bomb.
Yeah, I sneeze
He's
in,
like a cat.
in
Goodness.
rapid succession.
It's like you were losing your
I'm
breath
like a
there.
cat. I got 9 lives.
Man.
And you're a big... Whoa!
Yeah, baby. We have a lot of fun. We are Toucher and Hardy. We are in the Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Those videos are up forever. Forever. Ever and ever.
Yeah, they'll never take him down.
They'll never take them down. So, we a big show on the way today, as always. I believe it will be Chris Forsberg's last appearance in studio for quite some time, as we run through our guests one final time now that sports has kind of stopped locally here for a little while.
Suddenly the schedule's empty. Suddenly all that stuff we were writing for the last 5 months, gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah.
Well, it just means that we have to get more creative. But nonetheless, once football ends, then we still have a Bert. But Bert on Friday, I don't know what exactly we're going to talk about if we have him in for an hour. That's going to be a little difficult to fill an hour of NFL talk in May.
Schedule release. Good schedule release talk. That's next week.
When is the schedule release?
Supposedly next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Bert can just zoom in and we don't have to have him in for an hour because I don't know. I really
This week, next week.
I actually thought about it either yesterday or the day before because I was thinking, okay, now that all these sports are done and, the NFL doesn't really kick in again until August, that, maybe there's going to be I try to think of like what could we possibly talk about for an hour. I mean, the A.J. Brown trade, I guess, is pretty much happening, and it's going to be a first-round pick in 2028, and they're going to get A.J. Brown. So you can go, okay, what are the medicals on Brown? And then why is it just the Patriots? And then you can kind of get to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't think of anything else. I guess you could ask if Diggs is going to, now that he's been cleared of his charges, I guess the NFL could still suspend him, they're saying, but then you can say, would anybody be interested in Diggs? And then I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. That's about it. We've gone all over the Vrabel and Rossini stuff. I guess Rossini is preparing to speak. Was that in Slack, or did I read that on my own?
I think that was in Slack.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that at some point they expect she will tell her story.
Yeah, I did not get home until 9:30 last night from Groton, Massachusetts.
Scenic trip with your parents.
Yes, and the good thing about going to Groton at 3:00 is that it took an hour and 40 minutes, and my dad sucked his teeth the entire time.
Oh my God.
And he doesn't really know how to talk to people, so but he was in a good mood, so he just asks questions.
Who was in the car?
My mother, my father, and I.
Oh,
okay.
So my mother sits in the back because my father's the man.
Right.
And no, I don't know. I guess because he's worse off than she is physically. So, but he's done this for a long time. Since he's retired. Before he retired, he asked no questions, but now he doesn't really know how to talk. I'm not kidding either. Like, he can't really hold a conversation. So what he'll do is he'll go.
Oh.
So the Milo played yesterday. No. Okay. But they play Thursday. No, they play on Wednesday. They play today and Wednesday and Saturday.
Oh.
So, how's this team they're playing? I don't, honestly, I don't know. I don't really have access to all like the information about these other teams. There's stuff that comes out like every week, but I can't say that I, commit it to memory.
Oh, jeez.
And then my mom, my mom's not as bad, but we were, it took us through Concord. It took us off Route 2 because there was an accident and there's that rotary.
Yep.
I don't know how many people travel Route 2 out there in Concord, but it's like everything that's good about a freeway with lights and a rotary. So, you get to that rotary and traffic is invariably backed up a mile. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's backed up 1 mile.
Yep.
And every day, without fail. I don't know why they should shut that road down for a week, maybe like the 4th of July or something, where there wouldn't be as much activity on that road, and they should dynamite that rotary out of there. I don't know why it's there. I don't know why they don't just put a 4-way light there. I don't know why it has to be a rotary. It makes everything 100 times worse.
But it makes it so much more exciting and dangerous.
The thing is, it's not even like it's not like a rotary in the city or something where sometimes they can get gnarly. This is just, it's fine, but it just slows everything all the way down.
There used to be a rotary next to the Alewife Tea Station. That big set of lights at the base of Route 2?
Yeah.
That used to be a rotary. They blew it up. They put all those lights in there. Traffic moves it took maybe 3 days, and then it was done. And they should do the exact same thing.
When did they do that? When did they do that one?
Oh, it's a while ago now. 15 years?
Yeah.
20 years, whatever it was.
And this wasn't, it's annoying, but it was good because it stopped the teeth sucking for 10 seconds. My mom really enjoyed being in Concord because she thought that she was just swept away with the history.
Transported back in time.
Rustic. That's what it is.
But she can't read the signs. So
they're too small as you drive by.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had to. She kept thinking that every house with like a plaque that said something on it was a historical home.
Right.
Which, I guess, like they technically are, but I had to explain how every house around there is a quote unquote historical home. It just meant that it was built a long time ago, and if you buy it, you have no control over it. That's what, like, she thought. I had to explain that, these aren't all major historical figures.
But
These
they're
just
registered
happen-
as national landmarks,
Right.
so you can't do anything to them.
Well,
Yes.
my daughter's friend in Newton lives in a historical house that's a dump, and it's just in some random neighborhood. It's not even in an old neighborhood, and I don't.
Is there a carriage house? Oh, they love a carriage
No, it's
house.
not even that big. It's like a small house. I don't know. It's got a plaque on it. I don't know why that's the one house. In within miles, I would imagine that's a historical house. If there's another one, there's two.
Mm-hmm.
But this house is not anything. It doesn't look old. It's not nice. It doesn't have any carriage houses or property. It just has a plaque that it was built a really long time ago. And I don't know if that was their decision to put it on there or what the deal is. But it's just so random. But I don't know. I guess. So what's the deal, Hardy? You would probably know this more than anyone because you were a man who works with his hands.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
So is the incentive of buying the historical house that you just like that's something that you enjoy and you enjoy like the bones of it and the idea that it's been around that long and it's just your personality type? Because it seems like your hands are really tied with one of those things.
But I would think almost the opposite then. If you're not allowed to make structural changes to it, then no, that wouldn't appeal to somebody who's like really good with
No,
stuff
I'm
like
asking
that.
you because not that it would appeal to you, but that you would know because you would be turned off by not being able to do anything to it.
Yeah, I would think it would be a bit of a turnoff. The people who are buying them are either just buying them because this is a house they can afford, and I don't think like all the time there's like any premium paid on houses like that. Might even go the other direction because you can't do that stuff. So people get into them not caring much about the history because it just happens to be where they want to live and that's what they can afford. And then there's probably some lunatics who really get into the historical aspect of things. There's probably some of those people too. Sure, why not?
It just like they go like, hey, it's just like you pay $1 million, $2 million, $3 million for a house, and then they go, and then you go, well, I want to knock this barn down. They go, oh no, that's not yours.
And it's not a barn; it's a carriage house.
Yeah. Yep.
But they're like, that's not yours, and you're like, well, then what did I buy for $3 million?
Yeah.
I don't understand how that all works. Like, I guess I understand if you buy like the Emerson house or something, or you buy, the white Wiggy McGee.
Yeah,
a guy. Anyone who wore a white wig in the 1700s, I would imagine, controlled a lot of power.
Lexington, where I grew up, is full of homes like that.
Well, it's Concord and Lexington.
Yeah,
Those
next
are
to the Battle Green, like the Hancock Clark house, where Sam Adams lived before the fight and then the loss on the Battle Green. They have kept that house pristine, same thing. So Buckman Tavern, which is right next to the Battle Green.
Oh, I could talk about this for hours. I love it.
Yeah, right next to the Battle Green.
You grew up in Lexington, man. You learn these things.
We all supped together at Paul Revere's old copper mill there at Northern Spy in Canton.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But you know what's interesting about John in this room is he's the only one who did not fare as well as his parents economically.
That's true.
Is that John grew up in Lexington and now here he is in Natick.
Yeah.
In a dual income home.
North Natick, from what I understand.
No, he lives in a bigger house than I do. He lives in a nice
Right
house.
next to the high school.
Are you in South Natick?
South Natick is where the big homes are.
But which is not a thing, by the way. People just call it that.
They call it that, but that's where the big homes are in South Natick.
Big
near
home
near
in
Route
Natick.
16. Yep.
Horrible schools. But the
top 50 in last Boston Magazine, Bud. Top
out of
50.
out of the 50 school districts in Massachusetts?
No, there are more than 50. There are plenty of them. We're ranked in the 20s now.
Better than Springfield?
They're top 50 in the Metro West, where there are 62 school districts.
You see, that's just mean. Natick school system, very good school system.
No, I'm joking.
Very good school
Of course I'm joking, Jonathan. But Doug Flutie went there. I mean, how
Damn right
bad
he
could
did.
it be? They let little guys play quarterback. So, but John grew up in Lexington with a real hotshot dad.
Yep.
And then his dad has to go like, oof. He had to move down a couple towns just to survive, hand to mouth.
What did your dad do? Was he
Dad was a tax attorney.
Did he work on the railroad?
No,
I'm just trying to think just the era that he may have been
He was a tax attorney for the Raytheon
He was
Corporation.
Massachusetts' first proctologist. That's why John has such an affinity for behinds.
That's right. My dad was the original ass man.
Yeah, he was trying. He was desperately trying. Well, you know what drove him? It almost drove him insane. Was he was trying to perfect the Brazilian butt lift, and he was unable to do so. It's genetic. What John's love of ass is.
You know, would hear something as a young lad at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, once the fuzz got on him.
Papers and beakers being thrown around in the kitchen. I can't get it to work.
But they started investigating him because he was just using humans as experiments. John had this collection of guinea pigs with huge asses that his dad was working on. He was experimenting with.
Is that what broke up your parents' marriage?
Yeah, spot on. And that's just what I want to think about. When I get that right woman. Dad. Perfect.
That's right. But, yes, because Hardy grew up in Canton in the 80s in Michigan, which was really the country.
Yeah, it was kind of.
It
was kind of the Canton of Detroit. Yeah.
And so, no, you didn't grow up in Canton. Where'd you grow up in Detroit?
Well, no, I grew up in Troy.
Oh, Troy,
which is kind of the Canton of Detroit.
Is Troy next to Canton in Michigan?
No. I'm saying where.
No. I'm asking a separate question. Okay? So you grew up in Troy.
I grew up next, at where the four corners meet of Auburn Hills, as in the Palace of Auburn Hills, but it was Auburn Heights.
Okay.
When I grew up, that's where I went to high school. Rochester, where Madonna is from. That was the other city at the intersection that I lived closest to.
All right.
Troy, and then the very affluent Bloomfield Hills, where I had some friends I went to school with, but we were definitely not Bloomfield Hills people. We were Troy people.
No,
we
Bloomfield Hills.
Simple country folk.
Got it.
Bloomfield Hills was a very affluent suburb, but the thing about Bloomfield Hills was there was nothing there. So you moved there and you were just completely removed.
There was one McDonald's. There's not a lot else going on. Troy got to be big. I mean, the Kmart World Headquarters ended up moving there. Volkswagen World Headquarters was there. They built a big mall when I was a teenager.
Well, yeah, they built Somerset Mall.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Troy, they opened the floodgates. It's like the Waltham now. No, it is. It's like they let a bunch of corporations move in.
Bit of a rat problem in Waltham, I saw in the news yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I got some rats up and down Moody Street.
No, that's not a good place for them to be.
You know what? Spoiler alert, there's rats everywhere.
Yeah.
You just don't see them for the most part.
Not in Newton.
Oh, there's rotten with them.
Nope. Nope.
They're everywhere.
Nope.
Where there are people, there are rats.
Not true.
It's very true.
Where there are poor people, there are rats.
All right. Well, so in your neighborhood in Newton, yes, there are, with all the efficiencies and the.
Yeah. I live by public housing.
Divorced dad weekly rentals. Yes, there are plenty of rats there, not in the nicer places.
Not a weekly rental, but as you know, well, you wouldn't know because, John would know this. Once you're divorced, the man signs a document saying that he will live in at least one shared wall. That's the rule when you get divorced.
That's exactly right.
Now, it can be a...
Listen to 12 saying that's right. That's where you lived before 12.
That's where I'll live forever.
And sometimes...
No, when your parents pass away, you and your brothers can fight over the house in Maine.
How many houses do you get to fight over with your brother?
Oh,
your parents?
My parents, they own a second home up in Maine. So
Hell yeah. There's two of them.
Yeah, they can do that. there's going to be the Chapman Fortune is going to become a huge.
Just give me a tent in the side
contagion.
yard. That's all I need.
Okay.
They got that scientific.
I don't doubt it. Will you get that tent from the library?
Yeah, that's their library of things that some libraries have, where you can rent things, not just books.
Yeah, Adam goes to libraries, and he goes to libraries that have libraries of things. What is that? Well, those are places where you can.
Like if you don't want to go buy a rake, and who has money for a rake?
Sure.
You go to the library of things and you borrow a rake.
And bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah, which
is that a one-day rental? 12 or
Well, it depends.
Okay.
If you cozy up with the librarian, maybe you get it for a few extra days. They look the other way.
Yeah. So, Adam, what's the best library in Massachusetts?
Oh, well, you'd have to follow Library Land on Instagram to find that out.
That's
those
Lexington.
Those guys go all over the place. But yes, the Cary Library in Lexington is quite nice, John.
Mm-hmm.
I love what they've done in my
Is that
town
named
of
after
Woburn.
John Kerry?
No. What's the name?
I have no idea who the Cary Library is
It's a
named
big swinger in the Lexington lore. The
Okay.
last name Cary, but it's a female. I can't remember the name. But
Oh, it's a
someone
female.
will email
Never
it.
mind.
You
It
remember
can't be
the Minuteman Network? You got your
Yeah.
yeah, there it is.
Absolutely. I got my library card. Gives me access to all those. Belmont's a nice one to go to. Waltham, right down the street here.
How often do you go to the Waltham Library?
Not often. I'm bouncing in between Woburn and Wakefield because that's where I spend most of my time. The Lucius Beebe in Wakefield is probably my favorite, but it was my hometown library growing up, so
It's
I'm
funny.
partial to it.
If we're like Adam, we need to get a guest from the Herald or the Globe. Adam will have to go to the Waltham Library and pick up a newspaper.
Yeah.
And comb through.
Get their email address.
Yeah. Because almost out of cruelty, we'll not give them our accesses to the online editions.
Well, if it were that or actually going and purchasing a physical copy, I kind of don't blame him for that. Beetle walked in with one, a week or two ago. I couldn't believe what he paid for a copy of the Herald. Holy crap.
Yeah.
They're not cheap anymore.
No. One thing, because my daughter goes to the tutor at the Newton Library once a week, and I'll sit there. I don't mind it. It's quiet. I'll in it, and I make myself read there. So for the hour that she's there, one thing I always thought was funny is that they have legal newspapers, like for lawyers, in the Newton Library. So, and they're periodicals, like they're once a week or something. And I just like the idea that the attorneys, I've seen a guy reading it too. Like an attorney came into the library to read the legal newspaper.
So somebody with Esquire after his name is still taking advantage of the free access to the weekly legal newspaper.
Yeah, when your office is the library, maybe you're not the world's most qualified attorney.
He's like the Lincoln lawyer, you know? He's staying mobile.
The optics of that are not overly great.
So you're saying if you had retained his counsel and then you saw him there, you would have second thoughts?
Indeed, I would. I would think this is not an office at all. This is a public area. Yeah. But I don't know how expensive the legal paper is, but maybe just for optics. And also, it seems like something that you could write off at the very least. It just seems like if you subscribe to that, you would get that benefit back in taxes. But who am I? I'm no legal or tax expert. All right, Jonathan. Well, did you grew up in a historic home?
No, I did not. I grew up, I don't know, less than a mile.
Were you by a synagogue where you could walk?
No, I was not.
Is your father disappointed in you?
No, he's not. He's very proud, actually.
No, he's indifferent.
He's very proud.
No, he's indifferent. He's got his own life. He's living there in Silk Sad Manhattan. He doesn't need Johnny. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, if you can come with your kids, you stay for 2 days. Unlike my parents who stay for 6 years.
Get here Friday afternoon, leave Sunday morning.
They are leaving Friday, it turns out. They're leaving Friday morning. So I will not see them today.
Oh.
And then I will see them tomorrow. But tomorrow won't be bad because I know they're leaving the next day. So we've gone
Don't you
through
find the mood lightens considerably the last day of any visit like this?
Yes. And they did not bother me yesterday. My dad was sucking his teeth and everything, but I can handle that.
Was he asking you? Now, here's a question.
Not politics or anything involving
No. When you were there watching Milo, was he asking questions constantly?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because he, due to his physical frailty, had to sit in the front of the on the front of the stands, and you can't really see from there. So I sat back. I sat back in the stands. And Milo actually asked if I would sit with his girlfriend because she was alone. So my ex-wife, myself, and my daughter all sat with his girlfriend. Yeah, nice, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Thanks. Yeah, you didn't have to say it. I'll just say it myself. I'm like, you can do, buddy, whatever makes you comfortable, you know? All right, but she was very good. She sat there, and the team was a half an hour late.
Forfeit.
The bases were loaded with 1 out, and the team down by 3, and they called it in the bottom of the 7th for darkness, which I can't think can be in any way legal. Like, if the team's a half an hour late and then they call it for darkness with the winning run at the plate with 1 out, I have to assume they're going to have to at least reconvene and finish that game if it's necessary in any way.
I'm the opposing
Miles' coach was pissed.
Of course.
I did not blame him. I was like, oh, boy, I just got the hell out of there. I'm like, I don't want to.
Wow.
Yeah, they screwed him. They really did screw him. It's high school baseball. No one did anything wrong, but it's just...
Kids care. Kids care a lot.
The team was coming from basically the Cape, and they took a bus, and they got there like a half an hour late. It was a 5 o'clock game. They didn't start the game until like 5:25. And then you're like...
You got 2 hours to get it in.
Right. And then they called it with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th with the team down by 3. And so you figure
nasty
that you could have at least let it go a little bit. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to
obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we're Dutcher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happens. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what happened last evening, if I may ask?
Detroit Tigers playing their, what is this, middle of the 3-game set there, Jonathan?
That is correct.
Detroit? All right.
Yep.
So after taking game 1, 5-4, they get off to a hot start last night. Cedar Rafaela.
And a high fly ball right field deep, backing up Perez all the way to the wall. Leaping up, it's gone! It's a home run! Cedar strikes for a 3-run shot. Red Sox are liking the sound of those 3-run shots.
And that's it. Okay,
Yeah.
So the quick 3-0 lead. Oh, there was so much more to come from the Red Sox bats.
There's a high fly ball, a deep shot here. This one way back. Contreras hit it a ton. Another Red Sox bomb. And for him, number 8. They are wailing away on this guy. That goes 449.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's good. 11-12 rows back in the bleachers there at Comerica.
Yeah, so there we go. That's 4th inning, and this was probably the thing that really undid the evening's events.
It's a bat flip, and then there's a javelin throw.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Swinging a shot here by Abreu, and that's going to sail out of here as the Red Sox go back to back. And they are crushing Framber Valdez. Abreu with a laser beam, his 5th, 10-2.
And Valdez is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is good. He had an ERA in the low 3s before last night.
But a bit of a character.
Yeah.
He's got some issues and did not like being taken yard 2 pitches in a row there. So Trevor Story up next.
Trevor Story is going to get drilled.
That's tired.
After the back-to-back home runs, Valdez plunks him, and some of the Red Sox coming out, and some of the Tigers coming out, and both benches are emptying.
You can't get them out, so you throw at them. What a joke.
Red Sox bullpen is about to enter this thing, too, as they race across the outfield grass. No punches or anything thrown.
No, the one guy who caused it's hiding in the back.
All right, so
Valdez is afraid of all of them.
The situation,
He's
real
a little
before,
guy.
Before we get to that, Detroit had used the bullpen extensively in each of the last 2 games before last night, including a bullpen game for the first game of this series. So they were short on relievers.
Right, because Skubal had been injured. Right.
So A.J. Hinch is seeing a very good pitcher get beat up. I mean, Valdez was awful last night. But after the back-to-back homers to give the Red Sox 10 runs, Hinch left him out there because he had nobody to bring in, really. So Valdez basically said, you're not taking me out of this game, I quit. And he hit Story with the pitch to get himself thrown out. So there you have it. Bench is empty. Everyone stares at each other. Wilson Contreras is at the front of the line screaming, hold me back, hold me back. Everybody separates, and they walk back to their bullpens and benches.
I don't really understand why they took such offense to that. You see guys get hit deliberately all the time. You see guys get hit in way more contentious ways than that. I don't understand why that set him off so much. He hit him. Okay. Big deal.
You protect, quote unquote, protecting your guy. I got to be honest with you. A team that's performed as poorly as the Red Sox have performed here in the first month plus of the season, at least they're together on this. At least everyone came out.
You come out and you stand there, and it's great. But fantastic. The real team building exercise. But the only thing is that just seems like a random thing to get that pissed about.
Well, Trevor's Story has an explanation because you think it makes perfect sense, the timing of it, and what he goes, that was not the right time.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because it's a different game. I think there may be time for it. I definitely don't think that was the time for it, but it's a different game, and you never want to hit someone and hurt them. there's a fine line there. So, and I don't think you definitely want to hit someone in that situation. So, I'm of the old school kind of thought there. But
well, if you're the old school, then wear it.
That's
you understand.
That's the perfect time
Yeah,
for a pitcher to throw at a guy.
No. Regardless, if you're old school, then wear it, and there you go. I got hit. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, Trevor Story.
I just saw something like the Reds in San Francisco earlier, maybe a week or two ago, had a very contentious series, like where there were a lot of back and forth, and at the end of a game, the pitcher from the Giants hit a guy from the Reds. And he was just laughing at him, and the guy who got hit was just laughing at him and like taunting him, and to the point where it was really driving the pitcher crazy. And then the pitcher corrected the guy out, and then he proceeded to mother F everyone on the way out, and then the benches got out. But the best thing to do is just kind of, you went 2 home runs off the guy, you get hit, and you kind of just sit there and laughing at him like, you can't get me out, like you can't get anyone out. Like, you do that. You just like to take offense to it seems almost counterintuitive. And Valdez is probably like, yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're pissed. I want to get out of the game. Like, yes, I did this on purpose.
Of all the people you could have gotten out, Trevor Story would have been one of those guys, too.
And the thing is that
I mean, he's probably grateful for the head to first.
And I also like the notion that Valdez is in any way scared of Story. Valdez it says here is listed at 5'11", 230, so let's call him 5'10", 260. I'm not overly concerned about Trevor Story if I'm him. So no, he does.
To give Story credit, he wasn't screaming at him as he went to first. He was like, all right, he had his hands up, all right, I'll go to first. Everyone else came out, but Story wasn't turning and barking at him.
I didn't get home till 9:30.
No, but I'm telling you the story.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying fair enough. Thank you for telling me the story because I did not see it. I just think it's an odd, now that it's being relayed to me, fine, good, it's not Story's fault. Then I question the team coming out onto the field.
The team came out on the field. The bullpen's emptied, and Story, to give him credit, yelling. He's
fair
like,
enough.
all right, I'll just go to first, and I'm fine, and nothing wrong.
Thank you for clarifying that because I was giving him undue nonsense.
You children get all wrapped up in this nonsense when Chad Tracy is here to talk about what really mattered last night.
Obviously, nice to jump out to an early start, getting the runs early. They come back and get a couple off Joey get through, but I think the big highlight, obviously the offense and everything we did, but Bayo, just 7 innings, the strike percentage was through the roof. Everything was first strike. To see him be able to do that was huge.
Something about the first inning with Brian Bayo. You take that away from him, he comes out, he was lights out. Remember, we were talking yesterday at this time, oh, sure, an opener, that's going to change everything. It did. The opener came out. Moraine gave up 2 runs in the first. Bayo pitched from the 2nd through the 8th, gave up 1 run and 4 hits and struck out 7.
First strike pitches for Brian Bayo.
I don't know what happened. Maybe this is the plan moving forward for the rest of the season.
I mean, a first pitch strike. That's not
wild.
That's not the book on him.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. So there you go. Red Sox have won 2 in a row. They'll win the series. They'll wrap things up today. It's not a getaway game though. It's 6:40 start.
Sonny Gray back from the injured list, pitching tonight.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, so finally things could normalize.
NBA playoffs continued last night. I'll tell you what happened in those games.
There was some
Will we
hoops.
continue?
You telling me there was hoops?
Hell yeah.
When I was driving home, I heard Blaha calling the game.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Forsberg will be here later. I can't wait because I texted with him just briefly about that Game 7. And from what I understand so far, he seems to be okay with some of the decisions that were made. I don't know.
You have to question his neutrality then.
Yeah. You see, normally I would, but it's not like he's... Yeah, he's pretty much... He's dug in.
Yeah, I'm questioning his neutrality. If he didn't have any issues with I'm taking the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm gonna...
All right.
It didn't... I'm just sick of illogical, unintellectualized arguments that just it didn't work. There's not a debate about it. You can go, I know why he tried it, but it was a failure. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it was. The fact of the matter is it was a failure. It didn't work. Therefore, a mistake. You can say this is why he did it, but then you have to follow it up with it didn't work. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you launch some World War II battle and you have some odd idea and then 50% of your troops are lying dead 5 minutes into it, you can't go, well, I know why he did it. I mean, it didn't work. And it's his job to figure out something that will work.
But it was the right decision to at least try it.
He'd give it a swing. What could happen in a Game 7?
Well, when like everyone looks at something and pretty much would have the same opinion on it beforehand, and it didn't work, and then it doesn't work, it's hard to defend it.
Yeah, there's just some things that are inarguable, and I'm getting a little sick of like having these roundabout arguments.
You know what it reminds me of, and this is the crossing sports, but this to me is kind of like the Nazi option when you're comparing bad decisions in sports. But it's the Matt Patricia as offensive coordinator decision, where people were uniformly across the board. Yeah. This is a terrible idea. And then there's a handful of people like, no, this could actually work. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. And when it doesn't work, you say, see, it's not like no one told you. Everybody knew that was terrible.
And that's the thing is that in hindsight, you go, yes, that was a terrible idea. And any argument otherwise is false because it didn't work.
Right. You can't. It's inarguable.
Exactly. It is factually accurate that it did not work. And that is the case with the starting lineup. It's
no longer opinion.
Yeah, like I'm a little sick of sports radio-y crap where there is a fact and then you just run around in circles like explaining it away and you're like, yeah. Problem though. We're getting as a society to a place where we just don't like go, okay, I know that we didn't want any of this to happen, but it is happening.
Yeah.
So we have to do something now. But it shouldn't be happening. Well, it is. So we got to do something. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sport.
We are Toucher and Hardy. You know, you brought up real quickly, the Forsberg, you're kind of foreshadowing that he's going to defend Missoula's decision to start three guys that never start or rarely start, and five guys as a total that had never played together 1 minute during the regular season to start Game 7 of that Philadelphia series. And look, there's times where coaches or management put things together and put down game plans that aren't executed, and it's not their fault. But there are things where it's just a fact that it didn't work. And I'll give you two Patriot examples. Remember when Tavon Wilson was taken in the second round?
I do.
And you went, oh, I don't know anything about Tavon Wilson, but he wasn't invited to the combine. And you go, he wasn't even invited to the combine. And there's just a lot of guys that don't get drafted that are even invited to the combine. People went, oh, dumbass. And you go, all right, well, that was unusual, but maybe Tavon Wilson will be good. He wasn't. And then the other one is Cole Strange, first round. What are you doing? Well, I don't think he had to be taken in the first round. And guess what? He's terrible.
Very famous video of Sean McVay laughing.
Oh, yeah.
The Patriots had taken him that high.
Once again, like in the moment, a lot of people thought that was an odd choice and proved to be correct.
Yeah.
All right. A couple of NBA series getting underway last night. Detroit Pistons at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Floater, no. Shot clock still running. Duncan from the left sideline for three. And it's through.
What is his name, George?
Dr. Duncan Robinson. The doctor of distance.
Oh, boy.
Let Blaha cook. He was been there since 76.
Okay.
Cade Cunningham does okay last night. 6 of 19 on his field goals, leading the winners with 23 points. But it was a true team effort as they had 6 players scoring in double digits, 111-101 over the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Duren was terrible, and that's the thing that would concern me if I'm Cleveland, is that Duren was absolutely terrible last night, and they were still able to win that game by 10. And by the way, that was tied. The Pistons have been up all game. That was tied with like 5.5 minutes left.
James Harden trying to take over, making it look like it's kind of his team after all, and missing shots.
There's nothing a team wants more than James Harden taking over.
It's not a good idea.
In a playoff game, please, James, dribble the ball.
That doesn't work. It doesn't work. LeBron James took over early last night as the Lakers began their playoff series.
Wallace unlocked it to let SGA go. Again, trying to draw contact. Hit ahead to James. Big opening quarter in terms of points for LeBron.
Yes, 10 of the first 16 points scored by the Lakers, but the problem is they're playing the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Front court, drives and kicks left wing to McCain. He wants 3 off the wing. Give it to him. Cha-ching, a Thunder money ball.
Oh, yes.
J-Mac splashes. His second 3 of game 1. He has 6 points. 91-75, Thunder by 16.
That guy seems like he's insane.
Matt Pinto, I believe it is.
Because he just has this compulsion to say that. Like, I have a feeling like if he wasn't able to say it, like if the mic went out,
it'd be like you not being able to say bye as the last word.
That doesn't bother me nearly as much as it bothers others. And John can attest to that.
Originally, it was a Crash thing, right?
I used to forget it all the time, and Crash would go out of his mind.
Yeah.
And then every time I don't do it, it really wouldn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Every time I don't do it, a bunch of listeners get pissed off. For whatever reason, it's scratched a bunch of people's OCD thing.
Yeah.
I don't have that OCD. One thing I don't got is OCD. I got plenty of stuff. It's not OCD.
Couple things about this Oklahoma.
And it's also not jamming in 50 times a game.
Cha-ching, a Thunder money ball.
Yeah, that's a little easier to say bye once, a one-syllable word once, than it is while calling a play-by-play game. Conceivably, they make 33s going, cha-ching, a Thunder money ball. And then there's like a transition. Like something else is going on, but he's got to get in cha-ching, a Thunder money ball.
Yeah. The game, by the way, is far too quick to have this verbal tick. You know what I'm saying?
Cha-ching, the Thunder money ball. John Lennon's been shot.
Yeah.
That's if he was calling games in 1980.
Yes.
That's what Cosell originally was going to do on Monday Night Football when the news broke of John Lennon being assassinated. He was going to go, cha-ching, Bradshaw. Bradshaw to Swan. Lennon's been shot. Cha-ching! It's like
Cha-ching! Puck cleared from the zone. Do you believe in miracles?
Yeah.
It's just such an. It really does border on madness that he has to do that, because it's not even like a sponsor. It's just like his catchphrase, but it's such a clumsy
year
one.
was there some like mortgage company or something that was there was something from last year's playoffs that was sponsored.
I don't think it matters anymore. I don't think it matters anymore. Real quick, two things about last night. LeBron James, responsible for over a third of the Lakers' offense, had 27 points. Lakers scored 90, and he had 6 assists, and he was 12 of 17 from the field. Guy's 41 years old, and he must look around at that roster and go, oh, my God, what has happened? And I'll give you one guess who fired up more threes than anyone else in the building last night.
I don't know.
Marcus Smart.
Oh, come on. No.
Yep. 8 3-point attempts for your LA Lakers last night. He only made 2 of them. But, yep, Marcus took more threes than anyone else in the building last night for the Lakers.
And again, I haven't watched a ton of Lakers this year. I saw the start of whatever game in the previous round, and I saw him in the starting lineup. I'm oh, yeah, He's a legit starter. He's out there 32 minutes.
Yes, that's
the guy.
Getting back to my original thought where LeBron must look around and go, what has happened? What has my career turned into?
What's the world coming to?
You know? Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart.
2 of 8.
Austin Reeves, not a good night last night.
No.
For the Lakers.
No, 0 for 5 from 3-point territory.
I think 3 for 16 for the game.
Yikes.
Not good.
Yikes. All right, so there was something that we'll have to get to here in a bit, because the draft lotteries took place last night, and a certain person's reaction to the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the draft lottery. But I don't want to squeeze it in now. We'll give it its proper attention a little bit later.
All right, very good. We will be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy. Patriots, Bruins, the Celtics. WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Leslie Media Group Station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox won in Detroit for a second straight night yesterday evening, 10-3. Tigers starter Framber Valdez allowed all 10 runs in 3+ innings of work, and was then ejected after allowing back-to-back homers to Wilson Contreras and Wilyer Abreu, and then hitting Trevor Story in the middle of the back with a pitch.
There may be time for it. I definitely don't think that was the time for it, but it's a different game, and you never want to hit someone and hurt them. There's a fine line there.
So Don Rafaela hit a 3-run homer and had 4 RBIs in all to lead the offense. This 3-game series wraps up tonight. Sonny Gray expected to start for the Sox after he's officially activated off the injured list. Former Patriots wideout Stephon Diggs found not guilty of assaulting his former personal chef yesterday. The trial lasted only 2 days. Diggs did not take the stand in his own defense. The Celtics' Jaylen Brown has been fined $50,000 by the NBA. This is in reaction to his online criticism of the officiating in the Celtics' Game 7 loss to Philadelphia. At the NBA playoffs last night, Oklahoma City beat the Lakers in Game 1 of their second-round series 108-90. Detroit beat Cleveland 111-101 in that Game 1. The Bruins will not get Toronto's first-round draft pick this year. That's because the Maple Leafs won the NHL's draft lottery last night. And at the Stanley Cup playoffs, Colorado beat Minnesota 5-2 to take a 2-0 series lead. Buffalo, by the way, after eliminating the Bruins way back on Friday night, will finally begin their second-round series with Montreal this evening. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Massachusetts Energy Marketers Association, providing safe and reliable energy services for your home and business. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Diving effort. And he's got a breakaway. To the backhand. Throws it in front. Coming to the spot. The Sports Hub.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy, and you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Despite their flaws writing headlines, the New York Times is a publication. My father had a big issue when 2 days ago I was sitting down with him and I made the mistake of speaking. And I saw that 2 days ago, not yesterday, 2 days ago, the market had taken a bit of a hit. And I wonder if something happened. Because usually, as of recently, the market fluctuates based on news coming out of Iran. So I don't claim to know everything, or anything. So I just went to the liberal failing New York Times, and I looked at the headline, and it said, United Arab Emirates, UAE, claims bombing by Iran. But the big terms is claims.
What's wrong with that?
And then my dad became not furious, but he became like bemused by the headline, and then he became angry. And he started, and I went, that's odd, because in journalism, and then, by the way, the second sentence was Iran has not claimed responsibility for the attack. So what you would do is, thanks for getting that in. So what you would do, Hardy was very concerned that Bob Bronson had waved to me and I hadn't seen him. So when Bob came back, Hardy had to wave to him.
Now Bob's going to come in the room.
Hi, Bob.
Now that you've done
Bob,
this.
hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
It's on me for not seeing you when I was working. Get out of here,
Told
Bob.
you. I told you that was going to happen.
Just because you an audience.
God.
Don't you dare. So I said that to him, and then he started. And then I thought, well, since Iran had not taken responsibility for it as of yet, I mean, you're just taking the UAE's word for it. So I guess you would say they claim it, because that's the definition of it. They claim it, and then you will do further journalism and figure it out. I didn't think that was anything. In fact, that doesn't favor Trump. Like that if Iran is breaking the ceasefire, then that's not good. I don't know. At best, it doesn't. I don't know how that's politically slanted. perhaps I'm missing something. But anyway, my father got furious. And then everything devolved from there, and I just became annoyed. But nonetheless, the New York Times still continues to exist, despite my father's apprehension. But the New York Times did an exercise called the 30 Greatest Living American Songwriters. So they have to be alive. I know you guys just worship at the ground of dead people, but these people are still living and breathing for all we know.
Well,
but John, I will start.
That takes away guess number one for me, which is Shel Silverstein.
Speaking of
not just a children's author, but a hell of a songwriter.
Speaking of things that sound like Shell, play what I told you to pull. This is a big hint onto the first one. What is this, John? Oh my God, John.
I don't know.
You are losing so much credibility.
Okay.
He's playing two keyboards.
Wow, he has gotten so
His manager is just sitting back with shades on, enjoying the show, knowing that he's got a hit maker on his hands.
Things a top-notch manager does.
Is this a Babyface song? I'm trying to think where you're going with this.
Who's performing it? What, you've been hit in the head with a shovel? They just had the dialogue. You moron.
You were talking while he was playing it.
I had no idea.
Yeah, well, I'm bringing him along slowly. You know, teaching him how to phrase a lyric, sell an audience.
David,
all the things a top-notch manager does.
David, that's all right. That's Steve Sanders and David Silver.
Why am I playing David Silver when it comes to the greatest living American songwriter?
Babyface, right?
Yeah, Babyface.
Okay.
What does that have to do with Shell?
Mel was the name of David Silver's dad.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to go poke my head in the ROR studio.
What was his name, John? Mel
Silver, yeah.
Yeah, so he said...
Mel Silver was a dentist. He was David's father.
So he said Shell, and I said, well, this has something to do with it because of Mel.
Responsible.
This is why you don't get to run games.
Responsible for Luther Vandross playing the Peach Pit After Dark.
Yeah, Mel was a dentist, but he was in L.A., so he dabbled in the entertainment industry.
Luther had a toothache on tour. Mel fixed it, and then David parlayed that. Since my father did that last minute, will you come perform? And Luther's like, anything for Mel after that.
All right.
I just wish there was... I wonder if they ever tried a... Mel. I wonder if they ever tried a Mel spinoff, and it was just called Mel. Because Mel could slay it. He was a bald dentist, but boy, oh boy, did he get into it. He even had Kelly's mom.
Yeah, I got Kelly Taylor's mom. Not bad. Not a bad-looking woman.
She had a very severe haircut.
Yeah, very blunt. I agree.
Mel's in television history have really gotten the shaft. I mean, the spinoff from Alice wasn't even Mel's Diner. It was Flo's Diner, wasn't it?
I don't remember. But I thought that was more... I thought that was an after-school special about getting your period.
Again, why you're not allowed to run games.
So Shell sounds like Mel, who Mel was David's dad. John gets it. John, are you ashamed how long it took you to understand that was David's
if I had heard the dialogue, I would have understood it, but you talked over the dialogue.
But we understand the exercise of me playing that. One of the 30 greatest living American songwriters helped 90210 that song. He agreed to be put on 90210, hoping. And what was David Silver singing in that voice for?
I don't know.
And he's got almost a military shirt on, very influenced by the
I think
Svengali behind the...
I think that's what Adam Sandler would go on to channel for years in his comedic renderings of songs.
But if you recall, David Silver had on almost like the Svengali of New Kids on the Block and New Edition, like that guy. He had almost a military outfit on.
I'm trying to remember the name
He
of
was
that.
playing two keyboards at the same time.
One. Yeah.
Yeah, because he couldn't play one side of the keyboard with one hand and the other side with the other hand. And they were
90-degree angles.
And they were at 90-degree angles, not on top of one another. They were at 90-degree angles.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of do a big deep knee bend to kind of get
all right.
himself situated.
I there's a lot of them. Just go ahead. Who do you think are the greatest living American songwriters?
Paul Simon.
Yes.
Springsteen.
Yes.
Okay. Damn right it is.
They had a movie out from him about a really boring album. A movie coming out about how he made a real boring album.
Now, I shudder to say this name because you're going to say something factually wrong and inappropriate, and he's probably not on the list, but he should be. Pete Townsend.
No, perhaps his child molesting charges.
He did.
Child pornography charges kept him off the list.
He's researching a book.
About how much he enjoyed child pornography.
No, that's not the subject of the book.
Are you sure? Because I don't know if the book was ever released.
It was released.
His biography? He had to
Yeah.
look at child pornography to research his biography?
I think he got duped.
I read his
Doing something.
biography. It didn't. I don't know why that would have required looking at child pornography.
I don't think he looked at any child pornography. I think he was looking to see how easy it was to access because I believe he himself was a victim of molestation as a young man.
And the only way to really explore that is by looking at child pornography. It all just adds up to be.
You don't know that he looked at it.
I don't, but I also know that I guess you could read an article in an academic journal about it, that it wouldn't be required to see images.
He should be on the list for the greatest living songwriters, but he's not.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
John.
a real whitewashing of his life, a la Michael Jackson's new movie.
It's debatable as to whether or not she writes her own songs. We've had that conversation.
Then why are you even getting here?
Is Taylor Swift on the list?
Oh no, they didn't put her on.
Yeah,
of course they did.
Is Linda Perry on the list?
That's not a bad guess, but no.
Thank you.
She's the one from What's Going On, but she wrote a lot of really bad songs that were hits.
She wrote a lot of hit songs.
Yes. You're missing someone from the 70s, a female that everyone...
Carole King.
Yes, thank you.
Very nicely done.
That's always annoying.
Yeah.
See, I was going to say something.
They're like Songbook. Is Songbook the name of this album? The big Carole King album, the one album she had?
I don't know.
But whatever it is, it's always named.
The only reason why I know it, Fred, is because it gets insisted upon.
Right.
I couldn't tell you two things about Carole King.
But you know what the album cover looks like. She's like standing by a
Tapestry is
window.
the one that you're thinking
Tapestry,
of.
yes.
Right.
Tapestry, yes, of course.
I was going to guess another. Is Dolly Parton on this list?
Yes.
There you go.
You know why?
Good job, John.
Thank you.
Because she's got those two fun bags on her.
You know, she has postponed her Las Vegas residency again. Supposed to happen last year.
This is why she's such a good songwriter, is this song? What did she do that's so great, by the way?
I Will Always Love You.
9 to 5. A tour de force.
I tell you who should be on the list. And
Jolene's a bad song, by the way. Hello.
I heard it last night when we were enjoying a delightful meal at Chili's. Jolene came on the song, and I listened to it, and I had the exact opposite reaction. I'm like, you know what? This isn't a bad song.
Jolene.
No, it's much more up tempo.
Yes.
Jolene.
It's a lot of soul in it. You know, it's interesting. If you take the 45, Hardy, and play it at 33, you get a lot of that.
How about this?
Nuance.
And if he's not on the list, this list is absolute crap. Willie Nelson.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you. Good.
Well, it's been rough and rocky.
That's right. That's how he sounds. You were missing a bass player, disco-y guy, but he's written a trillion hits. The 70s, late 70s, early 80s. He was in a band, but he did most of his...
Sting.
No.
I thought that was a good guess.
Well, no, it's not.
Okay.
This is he's not known as much as a performer as he is a songwriter, but he was in a band. They had one big hit, but he's played with everyone. He's taken over bands. It's much in the Carole King.
Had a resurgence last decade with an electronic
Leland
music
Sklar. Do you know who Leland Sklar is?
No.
If you looked at him, you'd say, "Oh, that guy, the long-bearded bass player guy who plays with everybody."
I don't know.
I don't know.
Any idea?
Bass player.
Le Freak.
Oh,
it would be the first name maybe I would have said if I was doing this exercise. But then again, I'm a genius and a man of the world.
What would that be?
Bootsy Collins.
Freak. Le Chic.
Freak out. Yeah.
Who
I know
wrote
the song.
Who wrote it?
Rick James.
Who wrote this?
I don't know.
You guys suck. I'm never going to tell you then.
Okay.
Continue.
Who was it, 12?
Don't tell him. Let him die not knowing.
I'll look it up.
Are there?
No, you can't. You can't use the computer. All
How
right.
many rappers are on this list?
If it's already done, I can look it up.
How many rappers must? No, you can't look it up.
John, one of the
When can
the
I look
rapper
it up?
I played
After
to
the show?
introduce the segment.
What's that?
The rapper I played to introduce the segment is on the list. If you were able to pick that one,
I don't know what you
I don't
consider
know
a
what
rapper,
that-
but there's a bunch of bad ones.
All right. Is Eminem on the list?
No.
Okay. Jay-Z, is he on the list?
Yeah, of course. Okay. You have to put him on for no reason. Yes, that's him. Okay, who else? Did you know that Young Thug is on the list?
Oh, no.
Young Thug is on the list. How about that?
James Taylor.
Oh, that's a good guess.
No, it's a terrible guess.
One
of your little
Why don't you give us
Americana-
Why don't you give us one of your terrible hints again? Does it have to do with Shell?
If this guy was fond of ceilings,
Lionel Richie.
Oh, yeah.
Kaboom. This lady was fans of gravel roads and cars on them.
Oh, Sheryl Crow.
No, a more talented Sheryl Crow.
Gravel roads and cars on them.
Car wheels on a gravel road.
I don't know.
That's the name of a song and an album by this artist.
I don't know.
But you're a fool. Mr. Willie Nelson over here doesn't know this one, Adam.
He's
Bonnie
gonna,
Raitt.
He's going to kick himself.
Yeah, that old blues.
Oh, it's not what's her name when I went and saw Tanglewood a couple years ago, is it?
Sounds like someone
no,
who might have played
not Brandy Carlisle. That's who you saw at Tanglewood, right?
Yeah.
Well, this woman could have played at Tanglewood.
This is someone who has inspired Brandy Carlisle a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, and if you're such a man of Lyle Lovett and Willie Nelson, the idea that you don't know this is really making you look bad. What a fool, Adam. We laugh. Adam and I are going to have so many text message chats about how stupid you seem right now. I just gave you a name of a song of hers and an album, Car Wheels on a Gravel Road. I told you she's an Americana artist. She is, Adam has told you who she's influenced, and still nowhere in that dumb brain of yours is there any idea what this is. Must be fun. Never again shall you.
Never again will you run a game.
I know. I like this segment.
Well, we don't have much time.
Who is it?
I won't tell you.
This game gets better and better.
So it's good for the audience too.
I do like
It's amazing stuff. Like it amazes me truly sometimes how bad you are at radio.
I like the Fred twist of running a game where he just doesn't tell you the answer.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's
a good
really
angle.
awful.
I won't tell you. It's going to frustrate you. There's a blind man on here.
Ray Charles.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Stevie Wonder. Thank you. All right, I got it. Ray's not alive anymore. Stevie Wonder.
There's a team that you would be a huge fan of that wore fedoras. Don't look on your phone.
Fedoras?
It's torturing you. Oh, they wore fedoras. You're a huge fan of them. They were synonymous.
Run DMC.
No, right. Right in your wheelhouse.
That wasn't close.
Right in your wheelhouse. Think. They were two of them. They wore hats. They weren't.
Two of them. Fab Five Freddy.
That's one guy. Jesus. There was two of them. They were producers. They were.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Thank you.
Jesus.
At least one of you knows how to do this. There's one lady that was skinny, real skinny in the 90s, and she had a hit. One hit.
Okay.
She's super skinny, and she had one hit. White lady.
That's a good hint.
It's about as good as I can get, right?
Twiggy.
That's not even a bad hint.
Twiggy.
I'm not even being a dick. One hit in
Kate
the 90s.
Moss.
Sort of. One hit in the 90s. She's not bad. She's like a talented musician, but she had one hit in the 90s. She's super skinny. She's a white lady. That's all. It's
Paula Cole.
It's as good a hint as I can give you. No, but good.
Alanis Morissette.
I'll tell you that Fiona Apple, just so you know that's not a bad hint. You're missing like a huge, iconic, insufferably praised white artist.
I know who that is. That's Bob Dylan.
Yes, thank you.
That's Bob Dylan. I know that one.
You're missing a controversial Puerto Rican artist. Obviously, one of the best songwriters, living songwriters. Puerto Rican artist. First name.
Did he just play the Super Bowl?
He did indeed.
Bad Bunny. There you go.
Absolutely. No recency bias there.
But this is, this is a good song. How do you write this?
There's a Dominican-American singer-songwriter named Romeo San.
Yep, he's good.
But can you finish the last name?
No.
Here's how good a songwriter they are. Their name is Romeo San. One more syllable. Can you do it? Romeo.
Tos.
Yes, Romeo Santos. Well played.
Open toe feet.
Lana Del Rey is one.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Kendrick Lamar is one. All right. Someone named The Dream.
So now he's gone from not telling us to just rattling off the list.
Well, I got a minute. I got 1 minute. All right. Famous Christmas song. Many hits. High, many octave range.
Burl Ives.
No, living. Burl Ives is dead. Stupid.
Yeah. You're not playing the game right.
Many octave voice lady. Big Christmas
Mariah
hit.
Carey.
There you go.
She writes her songs?
I don't know.
Yes,
Apparently.
there's a lot
I
of
didn't make
co-writing
this
credits on her music.
Heavy short lady.
Heavy
rapper.
D and the Boys.
Heavy short.
Is it Missy Elliott?
Correct.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Two guys. I don't know why they're on this list, even though I like them. They have like 4 albums. Rap.
Tag team.
No, that's only one album. Valerie Simpson from Marvin Gaye.
Courier and Ives.
I definitely had that one.
Diane Warren is one.
Who?
Love lift us up where we belong.
Yeah, you've heard.
Oh, of course. Sorry, Hardy.
You idiot. So the 2 obvious ones I will never give you the answers to.
I'll look him up in 8 seconds.
No, you won't. Break his computer. And take his phone.
Take his phone.
Smokey Robinson's on there, of course.
Okay.
Oh, Nile Rodgers?
Yeah.
Cruel to
That's
be
the bass
kind?
player.
Is that, who's
Nile Rodgers is the freak.
Chic,
Is from Chic. It's
Okay.
not Chic, you dumbass. It's Chic. And everyone, you all disgust me. When I'm running the game, I know all the answers. Do you see what a sense of superiority this gives me, knowing all the answers?
sheer brilliance?
All right, and the ones I didn't get to are Lucinda Williams was the Americana artist that you couldn't get. Car Wheels on a Gravel Road.
Okay.
Outkast was the rap group you couldn't get. And who cares? We're all going to die anyway. And then the rest of the people you never heard of.
Good job, Fred.
No, the only thing that was bad in reality, I was kidding around about the rest, is John not knowing 90210. That was disgusting.
Had you not talked over the dialogue the first time,
You
I would
shouldn't have needed the dialogue. You know that show inside and out.
know.
I'm more disappointed than anything.
Okay.
Aren't you? In all seriousness, enough with the shtick. But were you not afraid? Are you not very surprised that he couldn't immediately tell you that was David Silver?
Only because of his 90210 stuff.
Only because of the 902. Of course, no. Like you and I couldn't. That's one of the things you're good at. And now you lost that.
Oh man. This is not good.
If Andy Griffith were on the list and you started playing, Foggy Mountain Breakdown, I would have gotten it.
Yeah, you would have. I mean, I got the every 80s sitcom within a tenth of a second, and you couldn't even get that 90210 thing.
Well, you weren't perfect at that game. You did miss one.
I missed the Rockford Files, which isn't a sitcom.
I think you missed one other.
No,
They weren't sitcoms.
I misidentified. Well, I didn't claim to know the ones that weren't sitcoms. I misidentified at first Good Times, and then I reconsidered and said Good Times. I thought it could have been Blossom because of the piano, but I was thinking out loud. It doesn't do us any good to have silence. I had to think aloud. That's Blossom.
And you missed the Rockford Files because you were stuck on sitcoms because on brand you stupidly forgot the rules of the game 8 seconds after they were explained to you.
No, I knew the rules, but I didn't know it was the Rockford Files because I don't have that knowledge. I love the Rockford Files theme, but I didn't sit like a loser and watch the Rockford
What knowledge
Files.
were you missing?
I sat like an idiot and consumed sitcoms. That's why I'm a loser.
But you love the Rockford Files theme.
I do, but I don't know how it starts. I don't listen to it all the time.
So you don't love it.
I like the song. I haven't heard it a lot.
First you
think I
said
like the
love, and
song?
now you said like. Were you lying to me then, or are you lying to me now?
Do you think I love the Full House theme? I don't.
You probably do.
I do.
Okay.
Just because of what it represents. I like the lyrics. I like getting back to that. All right. Hardy's very upset because he didn't know Lucinda Williams, and he looked like a fool.
I'm not a big Lucinda Williams.
Yeah, you still should have known if you're going to position yourself as such a folk guy, Americana guy. All right, look, we will be back in just a moment. Stefan Diggs has been vindicated. We can get through what happened in that trial.
Toucher and Hardy will be right back.
story.
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy and Stefan Diggs.
Nile Rodgers, a guitarist, not a bassist, by the way, dummy.
Well, he plays bass in Chic. He played bass.
He's a guitarist.
He is known for his funky bass playing, and that is a fact.
No, he's known as a guitarist.
He plays the bass.
He played the bass on one song, and that wipes out every other song he's played guitar on.
He plays bass on 1 million songs. He's in 1,000 documentaries.
Name
Stop
one other.
pivoting.
Name one other.
Duran Duran, he's done stuff with there.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. So what was he on trial for, Jonathan?
He was on trial for felony strangulation. Stefan Diggs on trial for felony strangulation and misdemeanor assault.
All right, so it did not take long for the jury to come back with a not guilty verdict, and you can kind of hear why. This is the woman...
Jamila Adams.
Janella.
And by the way, I heard 2 hours. The jury was given the case at 3:07 p.m. and returned a verdict at 4:33 p.m.
Yeah.
It's an hour and 26 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So now the person that made the allegations is not Janelle Sales. No, this is Janelle Sales. This is Diggs' chief of staff. So Diggs, by the way, Diggs makes like a lot of money, but he's not Elon Musk. This guy's got a staff. He's got a chief of staff. He's got a masseuse. He's got a chef. I mean, this guy's going to run out of money. And all those kids, like, Diggs isn't going to have any money. The amount of money that this guy is spending on staff is really unbelievable. How much did he make last year?
I have to
like
look.
$15 million? I mean, his career's not going to go on forever either.
So he's made $157 million in his NFL career. So we'll take half of that away for taxes.
Yeah,
3 years, $63.5 million contract.
Well, first we'll
you
take
didn't get all of it.
we'll take a 15% rip for agents and business managers.
So the agent only gets in the NFL. They only get 2 or 3%, but I think 2%. But you're right, management and PR people and all that stuff. So you take another rip out of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're after the agents and your managers and all that stuff, you're probably down to like closer to $130 million. Half of that tax is $65 million.
Then the child support has got to be pretty costly. So there's that, and then you have the issue of this staff. I mean, this staff is like ridiculous, but nonetheless, it tell you people like acquire. It happened to Stern. He's getting sued. It's like you acquire this money and then you surround yourself with a bunch of strangers, and they're all operating independently, and they're all have way too much access to you, and they can all really screw you over.
And these people are. I don't know what Diggs is paying his people, but we saw that thing from Stern where he was paying this person who, I don't even know if they had the title as like head of household. They were just like helping with the dogs and doing stuff like an assistant making $250,000 a year, and she was due like another like large 6-figure bonus.
Do you want to know how I read that? You know how guys will buy their wives like consignment shops or like a little store?
Yeah.
I think that woman was hired to keep Howard's wife knee deep in cats.
I'll buy you a person.
Yeah. Well, it was like the toy for cats.
Oh.
But she said, because she
Good
said
film.
she was running that whole cat operation going over there. So I think he was like, here, yeah, you do this cat thing. It keeps you happy and I don't have to leave the house. And I'm going to pay this woman $200,000 just to make sure you don't leave me.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Because I know people, not so much my contemporaries, but people like grandparents, like parents of my friends that would get their wives like a little boutique store just to get him the hell out of the house. And, if it broke even, fantastic. If it lost a little bit of money, tax break. So, that was just like, so I can go cheat on you.
I love spotting those shops, and sometimes you'll see them like in Mystic, Connecticut. But sometimes you'll just see them like in a strip mall in Natick. Just every once in a while, it's like there's no one ever in there.
Mm-hmm.
They've got like 8 things for sale in that shop, but it's been open for years.
Mm-hmm.
How? Oh, that was given to somebody to run just so they have something to do and they have something to write off.
And they also can be out of the house so I can have the girlfriend over between the hours of 10 and 5. All right, so this is Janelle Suni Sales, Diggs' chief of staff, and she's explaining what made Diggs angry the night of the incident that the jury said did not happen.
Do you know if Miss Adams cooked dinner that night?
It was like a hot dog. It was like and there was like mustard on it, but it was like left on the counter and it was like dried up. And then in the room, it was like dried up.
So, I mean, you got to get a personal chef because who wants to go through the hassle of making yourself a hot dog?
If you've got one of those hot dog cookers, which we had for many years in my home, it was called the Hot Diggity Dogger. It was not allowed to stay out on the countertop. So it was a process of getting it out from the cupboard, putting it on the counter, plugging it in. And I side with Stefan Diggs on that. I didn't want to do all that.
Well, it's odd that this is coming up today because yesterday I had 2 things to eat. One was a hot dog and the other one was a hot dog.
The old concession stand at the baseball game?
There's no I made one at 11:30 in the morning and I made one at 9 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And that is what I had because I've not been able to go to the grocery store and there was no time to order food. So I had myself 2 hot dogs yesterday. And I have to tell you, a minute piece it took to make those things. To put it in a frying pan, that was very difficult.
Frying your hot dogs. An aristocrat.
It really is. I mean, to be able to put heat under a pan.
I put them in the microwave.
Ew. No, you don't.
Sure. If I just need a quick hot dog.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, I don't have just endless time on my hands to heat up a skillet and sit there and roll a hot dog back and forth. Maybe your brain will allow you such mundane activities. I got to keep moving.
Yeah, it is true. You got that golf show.
Yeah.
All right. So she continues.
So there was like 2 that were made.
Let me back you up on that. Do you know if she did cook dinner that night?
She did.
Where did she do that?
In the kitchen.
And what time did you see that?
I just remember the food being like prepared.
Okay.
Already.
And
this is the chief of staff. She has to have her hands in everything.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned it was a hot dog or something like that?
Yeah, it was like a hot dog or like, like Auntie Anne's when they have like the pretzel dogs. It kind of looked like that, but it just looked dried up.
Those are good.
It wasn't so great. She's saying it was a dried up hot dog. But again, when you have a personal chef, this is how the other half lives. They're dining on old hot dogs while we're sitting around like schmucks, shoving whatever garbage we can fit into our pie holes. Must be nice having a lady to make you a pretzel dog.
It's just it's the ordering of the pretzel buns. Like that's what I never think to do.
Right. Or maybe it's because it wasn't Tostino's Pizza Tuesday. It wasn't Tostino's Tuesday.
Yeah.
She served him cold pizza rolls. It was the whole thing, the personal chef. But there is more, and we will get to it in just a moment. Here are the headlines. Give me 1 second. I'm texting my son.
I'll sell a hot dog.
I'll
sell a hot dog.
Yeah, I got to do it right. I got to do it right now. Okay, very good. So Stephon Diggs, he is home free. To be honest, if I could give an editorial comment, this trial did not seem overly on the level. I think that everyone from the Patriots on seemed to think that this one, out of the Barmore and the Diggs one, this one seemed to hold the least amount of water. You're saying, Jonathan, that she had asked for $5 million at one point?
Yes, her legal team reached out and asked for $5.5 million for Stephon Diggs. And when asked about that on the stand, she was very scattered and very all over the place. If I'm sitting there and I'm a member of the jury, she was very difficult to believe because of the way she answered questions.
Right. And so, Diggs, so he had to go through all this. It would be nice if you could sue for your money back in that you paid for legal fees for a frivolous charge, but I guess you could even win that case in which, how's she going to pay you? So I guess there's that. But it seems like an awful lot to have hanging over your head and a lot of legal fees to have to pay just so he can get thrown out. And for her to let it to go to trial, it doesn't have to be like a grand jury indictment. Like, this all seems like it went way too far. If the jury, the trial was 2 seconds, the jury deliberated for like an hour, and then it came back. None of this seemed to be a lot of meat on any of these bones. But there are some interesting things, like the life inside of a NFL player. He has a chief of staff. He has a cook. We learned that the cook made a hot dog, so that's why he has a cook. He has a masseuse. He has all these things. And now this is Diggs' personal chef, Mila Adams. And she's the one who made the accusations,
Yes.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
She is getting confused on the stand as part of this real superstar trial.
And it turned out, Ms. Adams, you had gotten paid for 2 of the 3 weeks that you said you hadn't gotten paid for, right?
This is missing a whole lot of stuff.
The yes or no question.
I can't answer your question correctly without the proper evidence.
Now, did she have an attorney? Because there seems to be a lot of freewheeling going on here.
Yeah, representing herself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what's her lawyer doing?
This is what I'm talking about.
Like, she's just letting this all. Her lawyer's just cool with all this. Like,
You got
nonsense?
paid for the 2 of the weeks they say you get paid for. This is dealing with a whole lot of stuff.
We're missing a lot of stuff up here.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why we're in a courtroom trying to sort everything out.
Yeah.
So what we'll start by, we'll take these things all this stuff. We'll take one stuff at a time.
We're trying to detail all this stuff.
Well, what
It
if
would
she
help
just went-
if you provided some information.
What if she just went, it's all about reading it, it's all about what's not written down. It's all about what's between the sentences.
Right.
You're not looking deep enough into this thing.
It's a woozy. It's a wazy. It's not real.
Yeah.
Do you recognize this document as text exchanges between you and Sonny?
Oh, it's Sonny, not Sudi, sorry.
Yes.
Dated December 9, 2025?
Yes.
And you're the person in the bubbles on the left?
Yes.
And you write to Sonny, hey, so I looked over my transfers, payment history, and they sent payments, 11/7 and 11/21, totaling $4,000. See that?
Yes.
So you knew that you had actually been paid for 2 of those 3 weeks that you tried to get paid for again, right?
What's your name? I never got your name.
Did you know?
I
that
don't
you
know.
had
I was trying to address you by your name because I'm sorry.
And now the jury's whoa, I've been confused.
I read on Instagram that sometimes, a witness can refer to the cross-examining attorney by their name and garner some sympathy with the jury. But I messed up. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't get your name.
Well, also, what would be interesting is if she thought she could throw the lawyer off and she would forget the line of questioning while she was thinking of her name.
That's what she was doing. That's
What's your
exactly
name?
what she was
like,
doing.
Like everyone, if I can buy enough time, they'll all forget about this.
I should have done that during the songwriter quiz. Fred, you keep asking me about Fred, right? Fred, you keep asking me about these songwriters that you think I should know, but Fred?
Oh, look at the time.
I'm sorry. Is that short for Frederick?
I'm not this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't answer that question correctly.
What an effective witness.
You knew on December 9th that you had been paid for 2 of the 3 weeks you said you hadn't been paid for, didn't you?
I don't understand the question.
You just acknowledged you wrote it to Sonny.
I was supposed to be paid for the week I was sent home.
Okay.
So I sent the incorrect amount because I didn't know he wasn't paying me for that week.
Right, so you sought $6,000 instead of $2,000.
That's my calculations was.
Well, the calculations are much different than the calculation.
Yeah.
Right. And so that last week, that was a week you didn't work, right?
Because I was sent home.
Right. So you weren't in the kitchen cooking.
Hot dogs.
Mr. Diggs sent me home because he had girls at the house.
Whatever you're going to add
should
is
be
not
paid.
responsive, Your Honor.
Yes. Ms. Adams, you
I'm sorry.
understand the question you're being asked?
I don't understand.
Her question. Answer
I'm sorry, and Your Honor, I didn't get your name either. I don't want to just sit here and say judge because that sounds disrespectful.
Yeah. So, but then you can look at the pictures yourself. You can see all the people that are involved in this. This little thing came out.
We did discuss money and payment.
Ms. Adams, you just testified under oath about what happened on December 2nd.
Okay, I also didn't put in the police report our sexual relationship because I was ashamed. The police report got leaked. I didn't put a lot of things. The most important thing was the attack in the police report. Me reporting anything outside of why he got upset, I didn't feel the need to put it. I was scared of how it was received by the public. He's in a very public relationship with Cardi B. So I did not put a lot of things in the police report. My most important thing was him assaulting me and choking me and slapping me.
Yeah, so he was having sex with her.
I would think you'd want to bring that up.
A lady makes you a hot dog. I mean, it's
The key to a man's heart is through his stomach.
It's almost impossible not to want to have sex. So Diggs has got quite a life going on for him. Obviously, I can't believe they even made him go into that courtroom. But I mean, it's ridiculous.
But that is now the thing that's being brought up a lot is once again you're seeing a prosecutor's office or just the legal system spending a lot of money after they same group of people that went through 2 Karen Reed trials.
Yes.
At least there was a
Norfolk
murder.
County. Yes.
At least a police officer died in this. This is like they couldn't figure out in 10 seconds that this woman wasn't a reliable witness and she's the accuser. Like,
but the question is, it's like, where are these resources going? How did this make it to trial in the first place? Why are we spending any money on things that either don't result in convictions or why is this taking up any of the court's time?
Well, more than that, I feel sorry for Diggs. Like, I don't think that just because you're famous that someone should be able to. In this, she can't answer the most simple question. The idea that he had to get, first of all, he has this hanging over his head for 6 months, a felony assault charge, and then he's got to retain lawyers and everything else, and he's got to go to court. And you know how people are. No one's going to forget it. They're all going to just now think he's someone who did it. And now he's got to live with this crap, and he's spent all this money, and he's spent all that brain power probably worrying about it. And now he's and now it's just over. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They didn't know that she wasn't going to be able to say anything. They didn't know that she couldn't put string 2 sentences together about what happened. That she was more concerned with the lawyer's name than she was, saying what was going on.
It's a smart
ridiculous.
tactic. It didn't work in this case, but
don't write it off as being something that should be used.
Wily misdirection.
And then if I'm a lady that was assaulted, I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Now I gotta now this is in the ether. Like I gotta go now deal with this pre-assumption that that maybe this didn't happen. And there's all these ladies getting assaulted, and now I gotta deal with this. This lady can't even say what happened. Ridiculous. All right. Chris Forsberg is here, and he's ridiculous according to what Hardy texted him about yesterday. We'll dig into that right away. We're going to jump right into basketball. Don't you worry.
Okay.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more.
better sleep, more.
The Bruins, the Celtics have had the revolution. This is Boston's home for sports. WBC FM at HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox made it back-to-back wins in Detroit last night, care of a 10-3 victory over the Tigers at Comerica Park. Chad Tracy's team has finally broken out on offense. They've scored 15 runs combined in their last two games.
The inning yesterday where we got the big hits, Jaron's home run, and then all of a sudden some things started to string together. I think I said before, like it's going to take a moment like that where we get a couple big hits in an inning and then maybe it cuts loose, and we continued today. So the key is to keep doing it, but we keep getting base runners, and now we're capitalizing on those opportunities.
Brian Bayo entered last night's game in the second inning and allowed 1 run and 4 hits over the next 7 for the win. On offense, Ceddanne Rafaela hit a 3-run homer and drove in 4 runs. Sonny Gray expected to be activated off the injured list today and then start tonight as the Sox go for a 3-game sweep. Former Patriots wideout Stephon Diggs found not guilty of assaulting his former personal chef yesterday. The trial lasted 2 days. Diggs did not take the stand in his own defense. The Celtics' Jaylen Brown fined $50,000 by the NBA. This is in response to his online criticism of the officiating in the Celtics' Game 7 loss to Philadelphia. At the NBA playoffs last night, Oklahoma City beat the Lakers in Game 1 of Round 2, 108-90. Detroit took Game 1 from Cleveland, 111-101. Toronto won the NHL's draft lottery last night, and at the Stanley Cup playoffs, Colorado beat Minnesota 3-2. Avalanche now lead 2-0. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99. Treat mom to a delicious meal at the Nines this Mother's Day weekend. Enjoy a famous colossal lobster roll or a juicy prime rib. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Spectacular in deep three. Violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
You've been aggravated since we turned the mics on.
I don't know what it is. I don't have time to think about that right now.
It's ridiculous.
You're walking by.
My grandmother asked me on numerous occasions if my father had died because he was late coming home from work. My dad and I had a good laugh about that the other day. He remembers. Freddie, your dad was supposed to be home at 6 o'clock at 6:35. Yep. You don't think he died? Whoa! And that is, you can ask my mom and dad. They're in town right now. You could sit there in their face and ask them if that's true.
How many times was this a regular occurrence?
Well, she wasn't at my house often. She lived in Lakeland, Florida. But when she was in my house, You want a real quick story? We got two segments.
Sure.
My dad just told me the story for the first time. So he lived in the Cape one summer, the summer after he got out of college, him and his friends. And the only one of them had a car, and it was a big Ford Edsel. He's old, you know. And so they would get, like people do in that era, and they would get, like, they go out, like, getting hammered and the guy driving around the Edsel. So my father had applied for a job somewhere. They had called his house in New York. His mom had answered the phone, found out he got the job. So her strategy was that evening to call the Cape Cod Police Department.
Good.
And to have them look for a pink Ford Edsel to tell their son that he had gotten a job offer. So my father's like, we're driving around, you know, breaking 3 laws, and there's this... My mom's got the police looking for me, in theory, to tell me that I'd been given a job offer. His mom was something else. Something else. All right, Chris.
Did you take the job?
I don't know. That wasn't the point of the story.
Left on a cliffhanger.
What are you doing?
What an audience you are.
What are you doing?
I'm just saying.
Guy tells you a story, and then you ask the most unimportant part of the thing.
I felt like we needed some finality.
Is this your first time here?
He's interested in what he's interested in.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to subject us to that. All right, so Chris, Hardy, you start because you had this conversation with
Ooh.
I did. I'll share with you a text, and I'll vet it first, Chris, to make sure that you're not going to come off poorly in this.
No.
But during the game on Saturday, the game had just started, and I texted Forsberg.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe what I'm looking at. What is this starting lineup? Are they just going to tank the entire game?
And what did I say?
Energy and length, exclamation point.
Yep.
Just got to weather the over emotions early.
Yep. Those guys were a little too hype. But.
And then I texted back, you and Missoula are both bat-ass crazy.
I loved the starting lineup.
Why?
How?
Other than energy and length, what about talent?
No, because so here's the thing. It was, to me, it signaled Joe understood that they had gotten away from the identity that had been their calling card all season long. And they needed to get back to it. They needed to empower everyone on that roster to feel like they were going to be important in Game 7. Now, he waited too long. He should have done that in Game 6. They should have gone small in Game 6. They should have experimented more. They should have tried to trot Ugo out before the second quarter of Game 7. Absolutely was not like he waited a little bit too long to get experimental. But you could not, in good conscience, roll back out the same lineup. The starting lineup had been terrible through that entire series and expect a different result.
I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense.
To
say that the identity of the team is a starting lineup of 5 guys who have never played together before.
Well,
how in any way, seriously, how in any way does that exemplify a team's identity?
Because again, he should have empowered the bench players throughout the series, and by not doing that, he put the team in a position where it was not playing to the same way it did during the regular season and made it so successful. And that was his way of saying, okay, we're going to shake things up a little bit here. We're going to lean on guys that got us here. And we're going to figure this out in a situation
Ron Harper Jr. got them there?
Ron Harper Jr. was fantastic in games against Oklahoma City and Houston, and they had full confidence that he could go out there and be a defensive presence.
I don't think that he really gave this the amount of...
The only misstep, I think...
How about this? Overthinking it. How about you fall back on... There's no way Sam Hauser and Derek White and Peyton Pritchard are going to go out there and have another poor shooting performance for a third game in a row. Let's get them out there and see if they can actually shoot the basketball.
I mean, I don't know.
And I know White was out there, but no Hauser, no Pritchard. And if you want to put Garza out there instead of Keita because of the foul troubles that he's experiencing, but Keita was providing some energy at the start of those games at the start.
I thought that part worked out best because Keita came in and was out of his own head and played one of the better games of the series.
The Garza move, I can see an argument for.
I think the one misstep was I thought he should have started Walsh in place of either Shireman or Harper Jr. because Walsh had been so good against Maxey that I would have liked to have seen that. Now, it was clear Jalen wanted to defend Maxey early, and so maybe you're just looking to get some extra size out there against the other players on the court. I think that part probably was a little bit more obvious if he had leaned that way. But I go back to it. I have no problem. Like,
you realize it was a disaster, though.
Was it?
Yes.
Were they within 2 points in the fourth quarter?
But Chris, no. Don't do that.
You're telling me what about that series? Oh, hold on. Let me just get my point. What about the way the starters had played to that point in the series suggested that it would have been any different?
It doesn't matter. It didn't work. The experiment didn't work. What you're doing is you're saying, what if? It didn't work. See, this is the exercise.
So what would happen what happens if the regular starters went out there and they laid an egg? You don't think you would have come in here the next day and gone, oh, he should have done something and shuffled it up?
Not with the starting
I think their
lineup.
poor starts were anomalous. I think at some point water's going to find its level, and these guys are going to play up to the way they've been playing for the entirety of the regular season.
Disagree.
Okay, well, obviously Missoula disagreed.
Couldn't
He did that,
but do the same thing for 3 straight games when it did not work.
Was it important to have a better start to these games? We talked about this. The first 5 minutes.
100%. I thought it was Game 6 and Game 7. I thought they needed to come out.
So
and
they
settle.
spot them the first 9 points, and then they go down. What was it, 30-15 or 30-16?
Yeah, they were 28-15 from what I remember.
And
Maybe it was worse.
And I get fatalist, and I say dumb things in the moment and get emotions caught up. But when it was 9-0, I threw my hands up and said, it's over. It's over. They're not going to win this game. And when it was 30-15, I said, that's it. It's all done. It's not happening.
But they still had chances.
But they would have won if they hadn't gotten down by 9 then. If you want to play that, well, no, Chris, mathematically they would have. If you want to play a game that they got it within 1, they would have been up by 8 if they had not gone down.
What if they were down 20 with the regular starters?
But they weren't. So
but we can do this all day.
We can't, Chris. We can't do it all day because the question is simple. No, the question is simple. Fine, you liked it at the time.
I like it right now.
It didn't work.
It's okay. Not everything works. You still had a chance to win that game.
How is it okay? They lost. They're done. They're out in the first round. They were a huge favorite.
Game.
They should be in the NBA championship game. And then you blow the start of a Game 7 at home by putting Shireman, Garza, and
Ron Harper Jr.
out there. Guys who questionable basketball skills. And Harper, I don't even know if he belongs in the league. And you put those guys out, you guys, you put them out there. They end up losing the game, and you say, it's okay. I'm good with it. It was the right move.
They needed to do something, and they needed to empower everybody.
But then not that. They might have needed to do something, but not that because it didn't work.
Start one of those 3, not all 3.
Well, and then what if they started their starters and it didn't work? Well, yeah, but that's not an experiment. In a Game 7.
Start Garza. I get that. You didn't need to start the other
Well,
two.
you needed speed so you could Garza. Hey, Ron, what are you doing? Are you ordering food?
I was just ordering coffee, but I got to tell you that the only thing worse than Chris's take is that horrendous porn-style mustache. Oh, my God.
Well, he's letting it.
I think they're equally bad, by the way.
Listen, I'm listen. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want, sweetie.
Yeah.
Load it up.
To a new level. Chris, you are insane. You're clinically insane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what he's doing is he's being intellectually dishonest.
Well, he's digging
I'm
in.
not.
And in the face of all the evidence pointing
There's
against
no evidence.
you.
There's one game where they fell behind.
Game 7 when they lost, Chris.
Yeah, the one game where they decided to
come on.
blow it up and get experimental.
A game in February, Chris, if you want to screw around and experiment and it costs you the game, fine. You're sending a message, arguably.
He waited too long. I'm admitting he waited too long to make changes, and I didn't love that it had to be Game 7 that he finally kind of leaned into what their identity was. What I'm telling you was they could not, in good faith, trot out the same lineup minus Tatum and expect a different result.
So they assured the same result.
I will grant you only this. If you wanted to go to those guys earlier in the game, if 4 minutes in, you're like, and it's like, okay, you bring in these guys, like really,
if things went sideways,
have your starters on a really, really short leash
right.
and bring those guys in. fine. Okay, to me that would be more in line with a logical playing into the identity of the team.
Starters couldn't have begun that game any worse than the guys that you started.
If the identity is depth and you want to lean into Chris,
starts.
if the identity of this team is depth,
won
is that
3
what
of
you're
them.
saying? Depth? Mm-hmm. In a word? Okay, fine.
Whoa. Hang on. Let's go through the games real quick. Sorry to interrupt. Boston outscored Philadelphia 23-20 in the first quarter of Game 6. All right, let's go to Game 5.
Go to the game log. I'm pretty sure the starters were hot garbage until
But in the first quarter, in Game 5, the Boston outscored Philly 23-21. So, and then in Game 7,
the first 6 minutes.
And then in Game 7, they were outscored 32-19. What the hell is wrong with you? You are crazy. They needed to do something. They won the first quarter in the first the 2 games prior to that, and then they got blown away in the first quarter with their little experiment.
How about this? How about this to poke Fred a little more? If anything, the depth in the second quarter cost them games 5 and 6.
And the depth in Game 7 got them back into the game because Ugo came in and changed the energy.
Well, they lost.
So you guys aren't mad at all that your beloved starters that you
in
wanted
Game
out
4,
there,
they won the first quarter 34-18. The only first quarter they lost in that series was Game 7. Genius. Game 2, 28-25, they won the first quarter.
And shave that mullet and mustache while you're at it.
Hey, Game 1 with the starters, they screwed around and won 33-18 in the first quarter.
That genius felt personal.
Because it's so intellectually dishonest of you. Because you're smart, and there's no way you really believe in retrospect.
Honestly,
at the time, but Chris, there's a difference. No one's questioning at the time you went, okay, they needed to do something, and you see it, and so you're like, I'm not going to kill Missoula because at the time I thought it was a good idea too. But your job's not to coach this team in Game 7.
Yeah.
Now, in retrospect, and I have just done it for you, that's literally the only game they didn't outscore Philadelphia in the first quarter.
I would be interested on the splits of how the starters did.
Chris, it doesn't matter. The end result is the first quarter. Well, they didn't take those guys out because they were winning. They took those guys out because it wasn't working. What's wrong with you, Rich?
Agreed.
Whoa. That's uncalled for.
You're digging in on
That's uncalled
You're
for.
digging in on no.
That's
you know way
that's
more about the
wrong.
Celtics than I do. I'm
That's
kidding.
wrong.
I'm totally kidding. But you seem to be really digging in on a particular point.
Now I got to be viral.
You seem to really be digging into a particular point that's kind of inarguable. I'm giving you all these things. You felt they needed to make a change. You felt that the change Missoula made wasn't a bad idea. You liked it when it first happened.
For sure.
But now, when you look back at that,
okay,
it was a mistake.
I will relent to you. And again, I've told you, I thought he waited too long to make that sort of change. I think there could have been better personnel distributed. I think Jordan Walsh should have been part of that group and started on Maxey and taken some of the defensive toll off of Jaylen Brown. I do not hate the idea of it. It could have gone better, certainly, like you said, the first 9 points and all that. But I think that game, I don't have any reason to believe that based on the way the starters had played in the previous couple games, that it would have played out differently if they had stuck with the core minus Jason Tatum. That's all I'm saying.
Let's just
All
take
I'm
a moment.
He came in and played a lot better off the bench than he did as a starter.
All right. Do you want to get into Tatum stuff now, Fred? Or you want to break? Because this is going to be.
I got more hot takes.
Well, I want to break, but I do want to go over. I'm just curious what happened in the first quarters of the previous games. In Game 6 at 8:25 in the first, it was 6-4. Chris,
6 points is not good, Fred.
But the game was close.
And then it was
down 9-0.
No.
I agree with these
now
guys.
I got to go through every game log.
I agree with these guys.
So what was the score in the fourth quarter of Game 6 with like 2 minutes to go?
You were hyper focused on the beginning of the game with the starters.
I get that the game is connected, but
This is the argument you made about that the beginning of the game would have been the same no matter who was playing.
The starter minutes were terrible
If
throughout
you
the series.
want to extend the bench fine in the first quarter and the second quarter if you want to extend the bench and bring in Ugo earlier and whatever.
Yeah,
the point is the start of the game.
The most they were down in the first quarter in Game 5 was 6 points. I mean, Chris, you're wrong. It didn't work. And I'm not even killing you for liking the idea, which is reasonable. Like, you liked it. You had your reasons.
Mm-hmm. But the fact that
they
you
didn't
won't come
work.
off it now.
Well, yeah, that you won't admit it didn't work.
I'll admit it didn't work. Like
Okay,
they were
fair.
down. I'm just saying it did not cost their ability to win that game.
But it didn't. It certainly didn't help.
Could have been better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
6 minutes.
Cooler heads have prevailed.
Clearly.
In Game 6 with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, Fred, cooler heads. That's you.
What did I do?
Genius.
It was.
You're just like Rich. That was good. Okay, Rich.
6 minutes to go in Game 6.
He was not moving off a factual
I'm
point.
aware, but you dug in. I like it. That was good.
No, I didn't dig in. I gave him. That was all fact. I went through every game. I couldn't have been nerdier. I went through every game and the game logs of every game. I wasn't just digging in.
Mm-hmm.
I was not digging in. I was finding. I would have been proven wrong.
You put on the satin jacket and you nerded out. I like it.
No, all I did was look at the internet. But listen,
What time zone was
Freddie
the
Backs.
game played in?
I don't know. In Albuquerque? They're in East Coast time.
6 minutes to go in Game 6. It was 92-78.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the Celtics had a better chance in Game 7 with that starting lineup than they did with the real starting lineup in Game 6.
All right, forget it. All right, we got to move on. Everyone email Forsberg. Something to say.
Yeah,
I'm not taking. In fairness to you, we have full phone lines that I'm not taking because I don't need everyone yelling. I don't need you yelling. I don't need people yelling at you. You've taken enough heat today.
I'm all for it.
All right, well then I'll take phone calls. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen of the greatest morning show in the country, this is the definition of a man that has sold his soul for a paycheck. He cannot defend this anymore in just a ridiculous way than he has, and this is what you do when you sell your soul.
This is a caller who is letting the end result influence like how he feels about the starting lineup.
Well, just the idea that it didn't work. Not, again, Chris, I can't give you more leeway here.
So again, let's dispel. Let's dispel the whole notion.
I'm trying desperately to defend you, but you can't
people
defend
want to
the
get
outcome.
mad and say like, oh, all they do is the green teamers. They shake their pom poms and they say how everything's sunshine and puppy dogs. When they do stupid stuff, we talk about it. I did not think Missoula had a good series. Like there were decisions made along the way that were not good. That, like, for whatever reason, this is now a pattern where there have been questionable decisions in 3 out of the last 4 years. You can talk about the play style, whether that is the right way. You can talk about Brad Stevens' in-season moves. Did they do enough to get a big, knowing that the bigs they might have to go through? There are things we can criticize the team. The starting lineup is like you're grabbing at low-hanging fruit. It's like it wasn't the reason they lost that game.
No, but it was a major mistake in a heartbreaking loss.
Hindsight.
Yes, no, it's not. It's not.
No, it is hindsight.
It's
absolutely hindsight. All I want you to do is admit it didn't work.
It did not work to the desired effect. That is fair.
Yes. Okay. So whoa, John.
Okay.
Let me please hyper focus on the one point I want him to admit.
All right.
When you try something unusual and a little outrageous, and it doesn't work in a game. Deciding game, that's a major mistake. Again, if this was an experiment in February or even in game 2, then you're like, okay, maybe it was sending a message. But the only effect that this was supposed to have was them to win that particular game, and it did not work.
If Peyton Pritchard makes the corner three-pointer.
But he didn't.
Understandable.
But they wouldn't have been in that position, perhaps, had they not made that mistake. In a game, one game.
Are they in that position if Nemi doesn't come off the bench and plays well and helps them get back into the game? Are they not in that position if, because he's messed with the starting lineup, he now has the ability to go with Ugo more than he did through the earlier part of the series, and they find a way to get a spark of energy to get them back into the game?
Why did Ugo's playing time later in the game have anything to do with who started the game?
What I'm saying is if Joe doesn't lean into being a little bit more creative in Game 7, then Ugo doesn't play because Ugo didn't play.
But that's, you're saying one decision was based on the other decision. How are those two decisions?
Again, if he just decides to play conservative and do what you guys want
but we're focused on the starting lineup.
Right.
You're bringing up something else.
Every decision
you're
is
saying
connected.
I don't know. I don't know if you can make a linear argument that the starting lineup that he used allowed him to play.
If he rolled
Ugo
back out the
Gonzalez.
typical starters and stayed with a crunch rotation, then Ugo doesn't play.
You're adding two things.
You're getting more minutes out of these guys by allowing them to start, and just mathematically, you're going to have.
No, I think you're more.
But he didn't start
because he changed up the lineup. I think he's more inclined to then lean into the depth again and go.
But that's a presumption. That's not a fact.
Fair.
Okay.
Okay. I got to get to the guy who didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many calls that want to yell at him.
Get in line. It's my whole life.
That was the other thing.
Full phone lines that want to yell at him. This is so rare.
I couldn't believe
You're
what I
welcome.
was watching. Because
Let me take one more.
All right, go ahead.
Joe, go ahead. We can have him back next week to talk about Tatum. Yeah, Joe, go ahead.
Forsberg, I want to know what drugs you're on, because what you're saying is absolute. I want to drive my car off the road right now. On a game seven, you're going to start a lineup that you've never started before. Forsberg, let me just give you a little advice. You know that without Jason Tatum, they had a lineup that they started pretty consistently that won 50-something out of games, right?
True.
This stupid he just tried to be cute. That's what he tried to do. He blew that game. So I can't believe what I'm hearing. that you actually think that lineup was the right thing to do. Are you crazy? I want to drive this car off the road right now. You're crazy. You're just thinking crazy. Go do your drugs again. I can't stand it. I can't even listen to you right now. I'm going to shut this off. Goodbye.
Oh, thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah.
Nice going him as a listener.
Wow. Anyone harming themselves.
How about that? What if he did drive himself off the road? You would be responsible.
Yeah.
Chris, your response?
It's on you.
That would don't put that on me.
Well, a man's life is in your hand.
We all make our own decisions.
Ben.
Freddie, baby.
Benjamin, hello.
Hello. A moment of silence for the guy who just took himself out on the road there. YouTube and Twitch Nation, love you, Fred. I mean, Chrissy, what's going on in May or June? Do you have something you can't move around? Is it your weekly Flowbee appointment to get that hair done? Do you have a vasectomy coming up, or is there a wedding you've got to attend that you're okay with them getting out? And
No.
Well, here's a clip. I'm going to drive off it. 2 on you now, Chris. There's 2 on you, Chris.
It disappoints me to no end that the Boston Celtics are not playing. It is good for my livelihood. It is good for I enjoyed watching this basketball team in a very successful season. It breaks my heart that the narrative for the last week has been what a disappointment and the crushing failure of dropping a 3-1 lead. But no one's more disappointed that we're not still playing than me.
Okay. Tatum didn't play at all.
Okay.
I couldn't believe that he wasn't that he didn't suit up for Game 7, especially after being told on Friday that he was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
So
optically not great when Joe goes to the podium and does he's fine, and Tatum says wants to play Game 7. But go ahead.
Okay. Whose decision was it? Do you believe someone had to make the decision first and get the other to acquiesce?
So again, I think it's collaborative, but I do think it starts with Tatum and his trainer, and I think it's Tatum probably recognizing, like, look, he's been pretty open and honest about the fact that it was not a fun 40 weeks having to sit on the sideline and go through the grind and having his future questioned. And I think there is a little bit of a history here of guys coming back and compensation injuries and the danger that is presented. The one thing I will say is, like, I think he had, again, you want to talk about, they had 66 games of data of winning without him. And I think he felt pretty confident that they would find a way, even if he didn't play. But, yeah, it's the same deal, right? Like, they win that game, it looks smart to rest him and hope that he's back for the next round. But if you'd been out there and something happens, and now your 26-27 season is compromised, it's a dice roll. I don't blame a player for being worried about their health.
Being worried about it, no. But that's something you have to live with and something you have to deal with.
Yeah.
And is
100%.
it fair? Because I said this the day afterward when emotions are really running high. Said, how about Tatum feels some stiffness in his knee, shows up at the facility on Saturday and says nothing. Says, you know what? My knee's a little stiff, but I'm going to go. And to my knowledge, Chris, this is the first time it's popped up since he came back.
Yeah, and
he shows up the first night back, 27 minutes. He's playing tons of minutes, and
that's why it's
other than the
frustrating.
scheduled rest days on the 2nd nights of back-to-backs, he's played everything. This is the one time that I will say can't go, but he decides he can't go.
Sure.
Could he have just as easily made the decision that he could go?
Everyone can make the decision they think is best for their health. And certainly I think he did a good job voicing it the next day when he said, it's frustrating because the trajectory had been so perfectly going up. And yet this is a reminder of why when you let a series linger, whether it's go back to 23 and he turns an ankle in the first minute of Game 7 against the Heat, and all of a sudden that compromises that series, to this is like, if you just got your job done, when they had Philly on the ropes in Game 5, they had just finished it off, none of this happens, right? Like, you're on to the next round, and we see and Tatum's probably healthy and everything, sunshine and puppy dogs. But you let it linger, the knee pops up at the worst possible spot. Now, look,
the fact that he said he would have been back to play in round 2,
I didn't love that. I did not love that. I think
to me, terrible, and that tells me it's like, oh, then you absolutely could have played in Game 7.
I'm not a doctor. I don't have access to his MRIs, but yeah, I did not love that. I thought he would say, I was hoping to be back for round 2, but we did not know. And then to hear it say day to day, it certainly leaves open to scrutiny the way that people have. The only other thing I'll say is, like, a lot of people come up and been like, "Oh, Kevin McHale's playing on a broken foot." Yeah, people were stupid in the '80s, right? Like they didn't know.
Well, that ended up being done,
right?
So yeah,
and now they can't walk and they're compromised. And so, like, spare me the whole my heroes were limping out there and all that.
Well, McHale would tell you it was done,
right?
I mean, it ruined his career. So yeah, I don't look. It doesn't matter what I think, but if I was Tatum and I blew my Achilles out the season before, and they were telling me that I was compensating with my other leg and that there was a chance I'd get another major injury, I'd be hesitant to play as well.
But in Game 7, even you, Fred, might say, you know what? But it's Game 7. I'm going to play. And if I start to feel something and it's wrong, then all right, I can't. Look, this is bad. I can't do this.
Same deal.
Suit up, give it a shot.
It's a lot. It's easy to sit there and look. He did not look happy to be on that bench, and I get it. It's just like these are
look
tough
plenty
decisions.
happy afterward, and you're yucking it up with Embiid. That I've made my peace with.
They weren't-
That everybody was pissed
they weren't
off with.
going up
I
together.
made my peace with that in the NBA.
Played together on Team
years
USA
ago.
in the Olympics. They're buds.
Yeah, years ago. Like,
Hardy, if me
these
and you
guys
were,
are all
if me and you were
friends.
competing in a golf match and you edged me at the finish line, I'd still run up and hug you afterward.
See, that's
nice to know.
Sweet.
And
Look
you-
at that.
You probably would have tapped out ahead of time, though, and said, you know what? Go put somebody in there who's never played golf before my place. It's bold, but we're going to give it a shot.
And then they have to concede the first 7 holes. You'll go, but you had plenty of holes to come
But it was
back.
close at the end.
You had 11 holes to come back. All right.
Yeah, making the turn and you're down 7.
All right. Chris Forsberg, let's have you back next week because there'll be more to talk about.
What I did.
Yeah.
You were very good today. You were so
Very good
dumb.
today.
It was very good. No, I'm just kidding.
Holy backhanded compliment.
Right. No, I didn't mean the today. No, you were so good today that you were going to come back next week. That was not the plan, but you were so good today that you were going to come back next week. That wasn't backhanded.
So no one drive off the road. Just save your anger for next week.
One question before he
No,
leaves.
John, boy, are you
All right.
pissing. You are
All right.
just asking. Adam's going to hit you in the face one day.
Okay.
All right. Jesus Christ,
right.
John.
All right.
You are that clock. Just look at it periodically.
That's right. When you break it at 46 after the hour.
Adam, you want to talk to him about that and what the difference is?
Okay.
I think he knows.
All right. Very good. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
ticket not punched.
Hardy.
No, the ticket's not punched. You got a bunch of stuff wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Dutcher and Hardy.
I guess this country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Chris Forsberg coming off a red hot appearance on the show. Jerry, go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I wish Chris was still there, but it's interesting. Obviously, Missoula needed to change things, not the lineup in Game 7, do that, like you said, in February. And he tried to throw crap against the wall. He went zone. He did a small lineup. He played guys who haven't played a minute in weeks. And you know, it's funny, the one thing that worked, at least that I saw, was the zone, which is contradictory of how he wants to play. You know, he went zone, made Philly take a bunch of threes, missed a bunch, and they came back by shooting twos. So it's funny that's how they got back in the game, and they want to play the inverse every day. So it's the style that's going to change.
Yeah, the other thing you can argue is he played his zone, the Celtics got back into the game, and then he went back to man. I didn't understand that either in the second half. It was bizarre the way he was. We want to stay aggressive. I get that, but this is working. This is working. You guys were down double digits. You struggled to get back into the game. You got back into the game, and then you changed your defense to what wasn't working earlier. Very frustrating. Very frustrating afternoon.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks handle Embiid going forward in this series, and to see if it's just strictly personnel, they're able to do a better job with it, or if they figure out a way to shut him down.
They have a more Mitchell Robinson's a much bigger and more physical guy, and Karl Anthony Towns is a bigger guy who can actually score at the other end. So the matchup, I would think, would favor them. But Game 2 is tonight. We'll see what happens. Now, Philadelphia has had their one-game vacation after the Celtics series.
Which it really was.
Yeah, so let's see what happens tonight. The Knicks are on as big a roll as any playoff team ever at this point. They've won 3 straight games by 25 points in the postseason. I don't think that's ever been done.
I mean, it's already getting annoying with the announcers that are all the personalities that are all Knicks fans. It's getting annoying already. I mean, they make the conference semifinals, and it's like the Super Bowl. It's too much talk. It's too much over analyzing. I really hope they lose this series. I'll tell you what, though, in that Celtics series, Maxey looked by far the fastest guy in the court. It was almost amazing how much faster he is than everyone else.
He's one of the fastest guys in the NBA. We talked about this before the series started, about how good a scorer he was and how he could go off at any moment. He is one of the quickest guys with the basketball of anyone in the league.
Yeah, and it's to show that dramatically in a playoff game is pretty amazing.
Guys, if Derek White can't stay with him, and Derek White is a top 5 defensive player in the league,
Olympic,
can't stay with him. Well, he may get first team all defense this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that guy can't stay with Tyrese Maxey, that should tell you something.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like he was the best athlete on the court by far, and that was something else. But yeah, if we'll see what the Knicks do tonight. If the Knicks win pretty handily tonight, then maybe you write off this series. You know, if in the Pistons Knicks, I think the Knicks will kill the Pistons. So there you go. I think I think the Pistons are going to beat Cleveland. They'd given Cleveland every opportunity to get back into that game. And Cleveland couldn't.
If Harden keeps trying to play Harden ball, you know, it doesn't matter who they're playing. It's not gonna bode well for the Cavaliers.
One quick, and it bears repeating because it's really funny to watch. Lakers lose to Oklahoma City, and the leading 3-point shooter, the guy who shot the most threes out of either team, was Marcus Smart. Yeah. Marcus Smart is a starting guard for the Lakers, in case you haven't been paying attention. And poor LeBron, who scored 27 of the Lakers' 90 points last night, is saddled with that guy on the other side of the floor. Marcus Smart is firing up threes for the Lakers, which guarantees they're going to lose this series. Not that they weren't already the underdogs, but it takes away any chance they might have of an upset.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, yeah, there's that you would have to be very surprised if there's I don't even know what that goes 5 games. I mean, Oklahoma City, from what I've heard, I didn't watch it, but from what I heard, did not play particularly well last night.
No.
And they still won handily.
From what I saw, it was a close game there in the second half until finally away they went.
Yeah, the analysts were all saying that Oklahoma City didn't play well, and they still won pretty easily at the end.
And again, the Lakers only scored 90 points on an off night.
Yeah,
for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, so that might very well be a sweep. And it looks like Oklahoma City. Oh God, don't make the finals, Knicks. Unless there's another OJ chase, like there was the last time.
94. Does that sound right?
Just something to take
college.
everybody's attention away from the fact that the Knicks are in the finals. Yeah.
And they were like so hesitant to break away from the game too. Like they kept making the window of the OJ chase a little bigger until finally it engulfed the screen.
That's all we were watching. Yep.
Well, I'd say so.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that OJ trial is one of the like if you're not talking about a national tragedy,
it might
be the biggest news story of my lifetime.
I'll try and make
that's not like a war or like a 9/11 or something like that, or like COVID. It's like, I mean, it was everything.
I was just real quick. I was actually at the game at Madison Square Garden when that happened. I was working for a communications company. We furnished reports to all sports radio stations around the country, whatever. I was there in the building and sitting at all those tables. You had TVs and all the TVs were focused on the game. After a while, all of us, there is an NBA Finals game going on 10 feet in front of all of us. We were watching television, all of us, courtside that night.
Much like Sean Grande if AWA Wrestling's on during the Celtics game.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment with our friend Ryan Johnston.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Spending some more time out.
providing safe and reliable energy services for your home and business. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Drake May. We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
My buddy.
With friends like these,
to climb up a tree.
you know.
We're the best friends you can be, my buddy and me.
Now, more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy, on the Sports Hub.
Hey. What's brewing? With Ryan Johnston.
Well, Jaffy's going to sue you. Stole the morning brew.
It's not quite the same.
Well, no, it is. It's the same concept. You're using brew for Bruins, and you're talking about hockey in the morning. I'm sorry, Billy. That's Adam's fault. Oh, he's going to be mad. Remember how pissed Billy would get when I made fun of the Morning Brew logo?
Steam would come off his
He
head.
did not care for that.
No, not a big fan.
Because he was like, he'd already made the stuff, so he
Yeah.
was like all like pissed off.
You spent, 20 minutes telling him how bad the logo was, and he was not happy.
I was trying to be constructive. I was like, it doesn't really make sense.
I can tell you sitting over here, he did not take it that way.
It's your tone.
Sometimes you want a friend to be honest with you. It wasn't like I said it's a good show. I don't understand like the logo. It was just the logo, not even the name. I didn't understand the logo. BRU, Morning Brew.
Right.
It doesn't identify itself in print as being about the Bruins.
He came in with water bottles for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the logo. But that's easy to fix. It's the concept and everything is good. It was just the logo. But I think they'd already invested a lot into the logo. You should have cleared it with me first. Really. Everyone should probably clear things with me first, get my opinion, before they start running with a full run out. You know what I'm saying?
If only Forsberg had called you.
Well, thank God that Hardy texted him. That got us a great segment with 2 segments with him. It's all because Hardy texted him and he said that ridiculous thing Forsberg did. You know? I love that he stuck with it. I love that he hung in there. I mean, that made it great. And he knows what he's talking about. It just, he was like he was dying on the
He believes
hill.
it.
He was like dying on the hill that starting those 5 guys was a good decision. In hindsight. He'd go, well, in hindsight. He'd go, yeah, in hindsight. It was a bad decision.
Yeah.
And then he would go, well, no. Well, you just said in hindsight. It was almost a study in how not to operate.
Only based on the final score of the season-ending game.
And then it was fun to go through every game and see that the Celtics had won every first quarter except for Game 7.
Right.
So it arguably was a bad decision. It's more of a societal thing. When there's something is true, whether you like it or not, or you don't like the way that it got there, it is that way, and it needs to be dealt with. But then there's like, well, this happened because of this. Yeah, good, but it's happening. So we have to deal with what's happening. But it wouldn't have happened if this. Yeah, fantastic. Argument for another day. But we have to tackle the problem.
And I know what he was talking about, like in those first quarters too, because the starters would start cold, and then like Shireman came in, was the first one to hit a 3-pointer. I think it was in Game 5, and like that happens. But another one of those guys that came in and hit something was Pritchard. And Pritchard, if you're going to start non-starters, how about you make Pritchard one of them? That would have meant that. I almost would have been okay with it if he had been one of those guys out there on the court, but he wasn't.
Can I tell you one thing about just an example of like when you go, okay, well, Shireman came in and he would say the argument is Shireman came in and would hit shots off the bench. Well, that was working. It's like my son, he gets like learning support at his school, and the school said, he's doing really well. Why don't you get rid of the learning support? And I went, wait a second. He's doing really well with learning support. Why would I get rid of the learning support? Got 1 year left after this year. I say, if he's doing well, don't change a thing. Why are you messing with it?
Yeah.
It's like $1,500. I'll pay $1,500 if it helps him do better in school.
Can't have money.
Man,
shouldn't have said that. Now everyone's going to know. I'm rolling.
Hitting you up for loans.
Maybe that ain't nothing but you should be up making breakfast anyway. Ryan Johnston is the voice of the Boston Bruins on the 98.5 The Sports Hub. Hello, Ryan.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, dude?
You must be feeling pretty good. I mean, it's like the Bruins put together what I would say would be a representative effort in their final game of the season, and it was a decent game to watch. It didn't end in catastrophe like it did for another local team here.
Yeah, it's a little tougher to end in catastrophe when you're not the favorite by a mile in the series.
Yeah,
yeah.
But Bruins were the underdog in the series. We talked about it on the hockey show the day after Game 6 and the final game. It was a winnable series. And so there's some disappointment there. Had the Bruins, played better defensively, had they gotten to their game in some of these games a little bit earlier, you blew game 1. I mean, there's no getting around that one. It was a winnable series, so there's some disappointment there. But it's not like you were by far the favorite in the series and let it get away.
When you look at first of all, we can just talk about very quickly what happened yesterday with the draft lottery and where the Bruins are in terms of Toronto and Florida and these picks. Where does it stand now?
It stands, looks like that we're waiting a couple more years for that Toronto draft pick. There was some talk yesterday about, the NHL apparently still might need to clarify exactly who gets the 2027 first round pick from the Maple Leafs, because the Flyers are involved, and the Flyers seem to think that, regardless of conditions, that pick belongs to them. Now that Toronto got a top 5 pick and got the first overall pick. I can't wait to, the Bruins have a press conference today with management. I assume I'll run into my partner there, and I can't wait to talk to him about it, because he's been, saying for weeks and maybe months that the NHL would figure out a way to make sure that Toronto got to keep that pick. So when they pulled that ping pong ball number 12 last night and said, Toronto's got the number 1 overall pick, it's like, oh yeah, I should know to trust Beersy. He's been around long enough to know how these things work.
But isn't it the most Toronto way to get the number 1 pick too? The year where the kid might be going to jail, that's the number 1 overall pick. Like there's always a catch with Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention, the fact that, the introductory press conference for their new GM and whatever Matt Sundin's title is, senior advisor or whatever, did not exactly go smoothly. Their choice for the new GM has a really strange past and would not necessarily, I don't think, have been at the top of most teams' lists. Now that you got Austin Matthews reportedly, talking about how he doesn't even know if he wants to commit to the team for this year, even though he's got 2 years left on his contract. There's a lot of, as there always is, a lot of drama going on up in Toronto, and now you add this into the mix. It's like, okay, do they blow it up and start over with Gavin McKenna this year, or do they, try and work him into the mix with some of the stars they've already got and hope that makes them instantly better? I'm really interested to see what direction they go, because it now directly impacts the futures of the Bruins and the Flyers here about where they wind up in the draft in the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I'm all for the blow-up scenario there, Ryan. If they're bad for a couple of years, that benefits the Bruins, if not next year, then in 28. And the guy's name is John Chayka, right? Their new GM? Yeah. Chayka, Fred was in charge of the Arizona Coyotes, and he got them fined, and they lost a couple of draft picks. And at the introductory press conference, there was a guy who writes for the Toronto Star or TSN or whatever, basically told the owner he was out of his mind in front of everyone. Told the owner he was out of his mind for hiring him.
So he pointed out, the team says, we've done, our due diligence and, talked to people around the league. And the reporter says, and I he's a little bit of a flamethrower, I guess, up there, but he says, I contacted like 20 people around the league, and 19 of them couldn't believe that you were considering this guy.
This is in front of him, right to him.
Yeah,
He said this.
I mean, as they're sitting there, and he's just, what do you respond to that? And he's like, well, I guess you talked to different people than I did. And I mean, that was essentially the answer. There's been some questions about how Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, who's the ownership group up there, has run that franchise for years, and this is likely going to add a whole lot of fuel to that fire.
Yeah, it's the only thing that they get mad about is the Maple Leafs. The only thing that they're willing to confront is the Maple Leafs. It's the one pass that Canadians give themselves to get angry. It's about the Maple Leafs. Yes, Jonathan.
I wanted to get back to the Bruins and ask Ryan a couple of questions about what happens next year. Obviously, Hampus Lindholm always seems to be hurt. Nikita Zadorov is going to come off some major surgery, and they have a little.
I don't know, John.
Oh, is that right? According to Zadorov, the MSL was off the bone.
Breakup day, he said that he was supposed to be meeting with doctors, I think maybe today or yesterday. So we don't know what the final decision was. But as of breakup day on Sunday morning, he said that it did not appear that surgery was going to be required.
Okay, well, the overall point is the Bruins need help. They need help up front and maybe another defenseman. I mean, would you agree with that assessment?
Well, I would say they probably need multiple defensemen, depending on what Andrew Peake's future is here. He's an unrestricted free agent. But, you look at what you've got on the right side defensively. You've got McAvoy, essentially. And beyond that, Peake's an unrestricted free agent. You've got Henry Jokiharju, who, they weren't exactly chomping at the bit to get him into the lineup. I know he played the last 2 games of the playoffs, but, they for most of the second half of the season or post-Olympics, they had Mason Lohrei as a lefty playing on that right side ahead of Jokiharju. Jordan Harris, who's a lefty, got into the lineup over Jokiharju earlier in the series. So it's pretty clear to me that they're not thrilled with where he's at. We don't know what the long-term future of Mason Lohrei is. He's got 1 more year left on his contract. He was better on the right side than he was on the left. But is that a long-term fit for him, and how do they look at that? So you could make the argument that they probably need to find 2 right-shot defensemen this offseason to bolster things, and that one of them needs to be a legit top 4 guy who can play alongside Hampus Lindholm and give you, I thought McAvoy and Aspero, there were certainly some bumps during the postseason, but by and large, that was a really good pairing for you and allowed McAvoy to kind of open up his game and be better offensively throughout the course of the season. So I think, that pairing together, seemed to work pretty well. But now you've got to find a legit complement to Hampus Lindholm on that second pair. And then, who's Zadorov's partner going forward on the third pairing? I mean, there's a lot to be sorted out there. And yeah, they're going to need to find some help up front too. They didn't score enough in this series against Buffalo. That is, that certainly needs to be dealt with. Where's Hagen's going to be at the start of training camp and at the start of the season next year? Is he going to be ready for a full 82 game season? You've got to figure out, is Victor Arvidsson sticking around? And if so, what does that contract look like? There's definitely some holes that need to be filled. As good as this season was, and as much as they beat expectations, if you're going to be able to continue to compete next year for a playoff spot, this is a really deep division, and you would expect that Florida's going to be better next year after a full off season. And guys will be healthy. Ottawa's not going away. Detroit probably should have made the playoffs this year and collapsed down the stretch. They should be right back in the mix next year. Just about every team in the Atlantic Division you can point to and say that team's legit playoff contender next year. So the Bruins are going to have to continue to improve themselves this year if they're going to stay in that mix.
Do you have any knowledge or understanding of what the market is like right now? If the Bruins were trying to get that top 4 defenseman, or even what it's been like in the last few years, like how tough a task would that be?
Yeah, I haven't really sat down to look too much at it, but from what I have heard and what I have read, it's not a great free agent market this year. So they might have to get creative and swing some trades. We know that they were interested in Rasmus Anderson at one point before that deal got done and sent him to Vegas. Does that come back on the table because he hasn't signed there yet? That may not get done. There are some other players that we heard about that they were involved in trade talks. Do those heat up again as we get closer to the draft? That's always a possibility. Rasmus Ristolainen was another guy down in Philadelphia that that they were interested in at the deadline. So there are guys that maybe you've looked at in the past, or that you've had discussions about in the past that didn't come to fruition, that maybe come to fruition here going forward. And that's where listen, the Bruins have they've got some draft capital going forward here. They've got some guys now in the pipeline that potentially could be used to accelerate this thing a little bit. If you're not looking to wait for Letourneau or Zellers or some of those guys to establish themselves and come forward, that maybe they turn into trade bait. Maybe we talked about Mason Lohrei. Is that a guy that might get some interest around the league from teams that are looking for a more offensive minded defenseman? That there are a number of different ways that you could potentially go with that, but it seems like the trade route is probably going to have to be at least explored in some of these areas, because the real heavy duty free agents aren't necessarily going to be there.
All right. Well, Ryan Johnston, excellent job this season. Sorry that it ended as early as it did, but listen, we got bonus hockey if you look at it that way anyway. Who thought they were going to make the playoffs? And Ryan,
this year was a hell of a lot more exciting in my job than my first year was. So I can't complain at all. We got some playoff games, we got meaningful hockey down the stretch, and got to see some fun things this year.
All right, are you going to be filling in this week by any chance?
This week? No.
Okay.
I have not been at. I was approached about my first fill in the other day, and it was a day that I couldn't do. But I will, I'm sure, be seeing you guys, and some of you at least, in studio here at some point during the summer.
One of you guys gone this week on Friday?
A week from Friday.
Oh, a week from Friday. You can't do a week from Friday.
That was the day I couldn't. Yeah, they asked me, and I was not available for that one.
Oh, we were waiting on you. We were seeing if the Bruins
John,
got
take
eliminated.
as much time off as you need. I'll be
okay.
All right, Ryan. It's a little disappointing that you let us down. All right. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it. See you soon.
Always a pleasure, guys.
All right, buddy.
See
you soon. There you go. The great Ryan Johnson. We'll be back with our award-winning and always ever popular and very, very
and Forsberg heavy.
Very
email
Forsberg
segment.
heavy, yes.
And also, I would like to, since it's topical, Grandy was on the Joe Show yesterday, and maybe we'll play that clip for the people today. Just a moment.
email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and it is time for our award-winning email segment, which is always brought to you by our good friends. Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you have to get Glassman. You got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens. It's 617-777-7777. That's all sevens. Or visit gottagetglassman.com. Well, before we get to our emails, where you can email us, find our email addresses at 985thesportshub.com. Follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, or exclusively on Instagram, which I forget I can post on it for large chunks of time, at Fred Toucher. But to Sean Grandy, Benedict Arnold, Joe Murray it was like that Brady Bunch episode where Oliver was Benedict Arnold. I don't know if you recall that one.
No.
The dead Oliver years of the Brady Bunch. They tried to force him in until they gave him a spin-off with the other foster kids. But nonetheless.
He also had the incident with the ketchup. He's trying to get the ketchup out. I know how to get the ketchup out, and then boom. All over one of his cousin's shirts.
That has to be the Jinx episode. What is it?
That's not the Benedict Arnold. That was the Jinx.
Yeah, that was the Jinx. Benedict Arnold, he'd like narked on him, but then I think they ended up winning a trip to. He was the lucky kid that got them into the movie studio where they got to pretend they were in the Old West, which every high school kid would be dying to do. To get with their siblings and pretend that they were in an Old West movie. They'd get into the spirit of things and start hamming it up.
And in terms of like a walk-on role, it was pretty involved. There was blocking, there were stunts, there was a lot going on.
Well, listen, I mean, when the kids buy in like that, you got to let them. It's yes and, that's what they were doing. All right. So anyway, Sean Grandy was on with Joe, and here is a sample of their conversation. They hated Sean Grandy. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm also of the belief, and I don't want to rain on anybody's parade here, but I do believe the Knicks were going to win. If the Celtics had advanced, I thought the Knicks were going to win the series.
Do you think that he would have relayed that to the people had the Knicks played the Celtics?
No.
Yeah, from the jump, probably in the preamble of Game 1.
He would have told you how stupid you were for thinking that the Knicks would have beat the Celtics.
This year, they were a lot better equipped to beat the Celtics this year than they were last year.
Well, I appreciate you answering those questions because some people on the station aren't happy about the gap year and the house money stuff because championships, as you said, are all that matters. But I'm glad you at least cleared the air right here.
Well, because here's the point, Joe. Other people that you are maybe talking about, we all know who you're talking about.
Fred Toucher. Me. Me. I'm the one they're talking about. I like that. You got to talk about me. Again,
talk about me in any way. That doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, no press is bad press. I'll tell you this, is that what he's referring to is Sean said all year.
Stop getting excited about this team and enjoy the house money year.
All year, he talked down to invisible forces that were saying the Celtics were going to have a down year. He did it all consistently throughout the entire season. 82 games, and then into the playoffs. And then literally, within minutes of them losing that Game 7, he said, this was all house money. You understand that you cannot give me an explanation that justifies your whole shtick for the entirety of your broadcasting year being a narrative, which then flips on its head the moment that doesn't come true. The sincere thing to do would be express disappointment at the loss and say, boy, that's going to hurt this offseason. But that is almost impossible, it seems. It's, again, it's almost mind-boggling that you could spend an entire year saying something. Like when I thought Jason Tatum wasn't going to be good and that they should have taken that kid from Florida State. I don't
Jonathan
even remember
Isaac.
I was wrong.
Yes, you were.
That wasn't so tough.
Whoops.
Yeah, I gave an opinion that was wrong. Now, was that a narrative for an entire year? No, there's probably like a month or 2 weeks. How often do we get in the NBA draft? Let's say it was a week or two. I was dead wrong. What are you going to do? That wasn't so hard. But to just flip seems disingenuous
insincere at the best, intellectually dishonest, which I'm very fond of saying.
Yeah, that's your phrase of the day.
My father's in town.
Yeah.
Intellectually dishonest.
Uh-oh. But I'm glad you at least cleared the air right here.
Well, because here's the point, Joe. Other people that you are maybe talking about, we all know who you're talking about. It's no fun to sit in that seat for 4 hours every day and say, wow, the Celtics are unbelievably so much better than we thought we were going to be.
Yeah, it was really terrible. I was dogging them all season. He's hit the nail on the head. Is he talking about Felger? Does he even know I'm here?
I think he knows you're here. He might be talking about Felger.
Yeah, I don't think.
It might be.
Oh, he's not even talking about me.
Well, I don't know. We haven't finished the interview yet. There might be more.
I gotta be enough time.
We got
baby.
Okay,
all right.
50 emails here to do.
Okay. Don't attack me.
Say, wow, the Celtics are unbelievably so much better than we thought we were going to be. That's no fun. So you got to build up the expectations to tear them down. That's being a master of the dark arts, and that's what is supposed to happen. Everybody's supposed to do their job, and that's the job that a lot of people have. But in real life, it is absurd to suggest that the Celtics didn't outrageously overachieve.
But you suggested that it was absurd to think that they wouldn't achieve. Is anyone disagreeing with this?
And everybody called it a gap year at the start, and then I started doing it satirically.
Yeah, he was satirically saying it was a gap year to say to showcase how impossibly dumb it was to say that. What the hell's he doing?
I don't know.
He's not very bright. And I don't like that he wasn't talking about me. And I don't like that I was told he was talking about me.
Oh, boy.
It seems like he's only got Felger on his mind. No matter how much I try to get his attention by making fun of him, he will not pay any attention to me.
Fred,
am I going to have to come knock on his door to get him to look at me?
Maybe
Hello?
Just get him in
I
studio.
exist.
Fred, hello. Just get him in studio. Have you guys have a face-to-face.
I don't want him in studio. I don't like that he did that. It really bugs me.
All of the all of the emails we got about Forsberg, I don't have time to read them all. You can just do the subject lines. Crazy Forsberg, worst take ever. Jesus Forsberg. That kind of gives you a sense of where these are going.
What the F is one that I got.
Yeah. And then the body of one just said all of Chris's justifications are BS.
Okay, so what Chris did, again, I'll explain in case you're just joining us, is that Chris came in. Hardy had been texting with him at the beginning of Game 7 going, what the hell's going on with this lineup? And Chris liked the lineup at the time. He thought they needed to do something. He liked it. Fine. That's, again, an opinion. Opinions can be wrong. But then he came in studio, and he said that he still liked it. And we said, well, it didn't work. And he wouldn't back down. And he said, well, if this happened and this happened, and said, yeah. But this did happen. He kept trying to push it down the game. And then he said that the starters had been so inefficient. So I went through every first quarter. And the Celtics, the only first quarter they didn't win was Game 7.
Yes.
Then he started arguing against that and saying it was later in the first quarter that they won. So I went through every game log, or as much as I could in real time, and saw that the most I could have seen them down by, say, 3-4 minutes into a game was 6 or 7. And I didn't. And my daughter really dug that into my brain.
Yeah.
But he would not move, and it was genius because he bought himself another paid week of appearance.
So I got an email here, and I like this analogy because I thought of it, so I like it. And then Don and I are thinking of the same thing here, because we talked about not only Mazzulla's decision, but the backing up and not coming off of it, and how you can recover from things like this as a coach, like a really boneheaded decision, but it doesn't necessarily mean the end of your career. Now, what one play did I think of in terms of a really boneheaded coach's decision that decided the ultimate game?
Other than the starting lineup?
That would be Pete Carroll's decision to throw the ball in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Right? It's like just a coaching decision. So Don said Mazzulla's decision for that Group of 5 start in Game 7 elimination game, while not as insanely stupid as Pete Carroll's decision, is certainly worthy of being mentioned in the same breath. I just wish someone in the local press asked that at a press conference. Well, they're not going to mix the two sports
Well,
and
it's
go
also
back to that.
incredibly antagonistic to go.
Yeah.
Here's one of the great coaching mistakes in sports history. I'm relating that to what you did. That's leading him in a way just to piss him off.
And the only time I really heard Carroll not back off of it is this clip of him talking about it in an interview sometime later. And he said, the play, it does work. It's called Halo. And, he started talking about the play. I'm like, dude, you had a pretty decent running back. You could have just run Marshawn Lynch into the end zone and just finish the game.
Mm-hmm. But Russell Wilson's an all-time great. We've seen that.
Well, that's
sure.
True. That's true.
By the way, he's going to be broadcasting next year, even though the Jets brought him in.
Oh, that's too bad. He didn't want to be the backup.
Apparently, nope. I don't think that's what happened. I will even give them credit and I think Russell Wilson would have gladly been a backup. I don't think they wanted him. I have a feeling he's the kind of guy you sit down with and he would only change your opinion to the negative.
Is Russell Wilson the type of guy that demands that on TV people call him Mr. Unlimited?
I don't know why you'd put him on TV unless it's like a stunt to get people to not like him, like in a way that you think that the way that they don't like him, because he's like a try-hard nerd. Really is the best he really is a nerd. And that's not me just even analyzing him in the press, which he is a total, almost total lack of self-awareness nerd. But the way he was handled in Seattle is that the defense, which was, very charismatic and had a swagger to it, would really get on him in practice. And Carroll had to tell them, please stop. You're hurting the boy's feelings.
Wrecking his confidence.
You're hurting the young man's feelings. All right. Adam is adamant that we break right now because there is a chance. If Brad Stevens comes on before 10, we ain't taking it. But if he comes on at 10, the midday show will be taking it. So it's very important we're out of here if he does not come on at 7:53. So they can take Brad Stevens live, and we will be team players, and we will do such things. So here are the headlines.
possibly have missed from the show. It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy, and real quick, there's an interview with, or like an article interviewing Jason Whitlock, which isn't, from what I've read, even that dumb. Like, he's talking to like industry people, so he's not being outrageous for the sake of being outrageous. But this is a funny line to me. Whitlock has experienced both sides of sports media. He's a former Division I football player, so he's been on the other side of the media. Like, he's been that athlete being grilled by the media. Would you like to know where he played football? Ball State University.
Oh.
And I mean, I can tell you, I can only imagine the pressure on the Ball State football team to deliver in front of that media whore.
David Letterman's alma mater.
He had a scholarship for real for C students. You had to be a C student to get his scholarship to go to Ball State, which is brilliant.
We didn't get to the reaction from the draft lottery last night, which sounded like this.
It comes down to one bouncing ball. Who gets the first pick of the draft?
Draw. 12. Number 12.
The number 12. The Toronto Maple Leafs have won the NHL draft lottery, and Matt Sundin is smiling ear to ear.
Well, as that was going on, one Joe Murray was on the air and watching it happen.
So 12 is the one that's indicated as the one that Toronto, if they get 12, it's not.
Oh,
my God! The porking!
Let's not make that a thing. Let's stop with the term. You know I don't like that joke.
Yes, I am well aware.
The porking live on 98.5 The Sports Hub, and the Toronto Maple Leaf GM is happy and smiling, and the porking live right here. Can you believe that?
No, it's the word is the F word, which you can't say on the air. But porking is a very poor substitute for that. I don't like that.
The porking live.
No.
I don't know what to do.
Well, go about your business. Go about your day. This shouldn't affect you that much.
Whatever you have to. That's right. That's from our May the 4th be with you bit. All right. So there is a.
What did Chewbacca sound like in that bit? That was Jay Stu Chewbacca.
What did the Ewok say?
What did our engineer that no one knows what he looks like, but it's really funny if you do sound like?
Cody Cha Tagoo, Yub Nub. Cody Cha Tagoo, Yawa. Yub Nub. Yub Nub. Cody Cha Tagoo, Yub Nub. Cody Cha Tagoo, Yawa. Cody Cha Tagoo, Yacha. Hallelujah move.
If you knew what he looked like, it'd be way funnier.
It's still pretty good.
Well, what's also funny about it is just how stupid Star Wars is, really, when you think about it.
What's stupid about that?
That they invented a language so they could sing that dumb song is pretty stupid. I mean, it's pretty dumb, right? Like from a distance, and it's all funny because we all grew up thinking that we liked it.
Yeah.
Even though we probably didn't really see it, maybe once, but we thought we liked it. But now that when you go back, you're like, what the hell was the big fuss about? You know?
It's all the different languages they invented.
Han, Mabuki, Kili, Kalia, Kuka. Gino, Waba, Muba, Outmion, Nucha, Jedi.
We don't have the time, but do we know why he bothered doing those languages?
I don't know.
George Lucas? No,
I don't know.
No idea.
Like, was there like any payoff for?
I
having those
understand you
languages?
prefer all of your movie language to be in the King's English.
The dark side of the Force. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
All right, we got to go early because we're being nice, and they can get to Brad Stevens, who was so boring I didn't even want him as a guest anymore. So I can only imagine
Bloop, bloop, bomb, bomb.
how boring the press conference is going to be. I did not want to carry it, so I'm glad it's on a 10. What?
That was the Emperor's sign because he had so much copy to read.
Oh, boy, these are more than 3 words. All those symbols put together, and you want me to decipher them orally?
Phonetically?
All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone enjoy Brad Stevens. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow.